The good news in Tampa is John Gruden's still popular. And what a day for a barbecue. The temperature in the mid-80s at Raymond James Stadium as the Buccaneer fans celebrate. And the Bears come back to Tampa with head coach Lovie Smith, a homecoming of sorts for him as he returns where he got his coaching roots as a linebacker coach. And the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in search of their second win, and they hope it comes today against the Bears. It's the Bears and the Buccaneers, both in search of their second victory here this afternoon at Raymond James Stadium. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Kevin Slayton alongside J.C. Pearson. We've got quite a battle brewing here today. And, of course, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, you know, here in Tampa, they talk about Brian Griese as if he were Lazarus leaving the cave. They're high on him. He was kicked to the curb in both Denver and Miami, but he's resurrected his career here, and John Gruden loves him.
John Gruden absolutely raved to us about Brian Griese, calling him the smartest man he's ever been around because he's been able to come in and master this offense so quickly, and he's been incredibly accurate, 73% completion rate, and he has given this offense the spark that they've needed.
Well, I'll tell you what, with all the injuries at the wide receiver spot, a rookie has stepped in and become a star.
And he is really starting to blossom. Had a big game against St. Louis last week. And surprisingly, Michael Clayton told us that he thinks it's easier to get open in the NFL than it was in college.
That is saying something, I'll tell you that. Hey, in Chicago, Bears fans were rejoicing after an unexpected Week 2 upset of the Packers in Green Bay, but then an injury to their quarterback, Rex Grossman, followed, and the experiment at quarterback began with Jonathan Quinn. That experiment is in Week 3. And it's do or die.
Well, there's no secret that Jonathan Quinn has played badly. He knows this system inside and out. He's got to trust his own abilities and just throw the ball. He's holding it too long, making bad throws, and he's got to trust that his wide receivers are going to be where they're supposed to be. If he plays badly today, they're going to go with their rookie 5th-round pick, Craig Krenzel out of Ohio State. He took 40% of the snaps in practice this week, but the guy that can help both of these guys out is Thomas Jones, the running back. If he can run the ball and get the running game going, get this team in 3rd and shorts, he's going to take a lot of pressure off of those quarterbacks.
It's an exciting day in Tampa and a beautiful one. There's still time to select your singular fantasy football team for this week. Text message the word play to 63504 on your singular wireless phone or vote on foxsports.com. It's the Bears and the Buccaneers at Raymond James Stadium. Brian Urlacher's laughing now. He hopes he will be later. It's a rowdy group of Buccaneer fans that have gathered at Raymond James Stadium for the opening kickoff between the Bears and the Buccaneers on a sun-drenched Tampa day. Lovie Smith returning to Tampa, where he coached the linebackers. His team has been in every game. You can tell by the average margin of defeat here. It's been a frustrating first 5 games as a head coach for Lovie Smith. Jonathan Quinn has been equally frustrated as the new quarterback, taking over for Rex Grossman, who was injured after that Packer win. John Gruden, his team is struggling also, and they've lost close games. A 1-5 start. That's anything except what he expected to start this season. But nonetheless, he says, I'm not fun to be around. It's really wearing on me, but he is optimistic about the immediate future, and that future begins here today. Paul Edinger will kick it off for the Bears. You just see Torrey Cox to the top of your screen, Bill Schrader to the bottom. Cox leads the NFC in kickoff returns. He had a 59-yarder against the Rams on Monday night. You see what Bill Schrader has done. He's the former receiver from Green Bay, and we're underway. A short kick. Cox at the 9-yard line. Cox across the 25 and stops short of the 30, and that's where Tampa Bay will set up in business with their first offensive possession. Brian Griese will be the quarterback. He took over for Chris Sims when he was injured in the New Orleans game, and he has been nothing short of spectacular. You can see by the passer rating. 3 touchdown passes for Griese. There's the offensive line. It's a retooled unit with the veteran Derek Deese at left tackle. The bulk of the running game will go to Michael Pittman and Mike Allstott. Joe Jurevicius makes his first start at wide receiver. First down for the Bucs at their own 29. Griese gives it to Pittman. He's met immediately. He couldn't even get started. Tommy Harris, the great rookie defensive tackle from Oklahoma, was there first to make the stop. And here's how the Bears line up defensively. We mentioned Tommy Harris, the rookie. Alex Brown had a monster game against the Redskins a week ago. Brian Urlacher anchors the linebacking core in the middle, still suffering from that hamstring injury. and the Bears secondary. Todd Johnson at the free safety spot, but Jerry Azuma making his first start of the season at corner. After a loss on the play, Greasy will throw on second down, and down he goes, and it's Tommy Harris again. What a start for the rookie.
And that's the kind of ability that Tommy Harris has. He dominated the Big 12 when he was at Oklahoma and expected to do the same on the National Football League level, and he gets frustrated at times. But watch him right here, just bull rush. He's just going to come off the snap, come inside. Actually, he was on the other side and just bull rushed, came right through number 70, Derek Deese. Allstott couldn't get over there in time, and that's what he does. He's quick and he's strong inside and gets up the field.
A loss of 8, and now Pittman trying to get the first down on 3rd and long, but he just gets back to the original line of scrimmage plus a couple of yards, and the Bucs will have to punt it away. The running game is important to John Gruden, JC. He wants to be able to run against the Bears, and the Bears have been very happy to let teams run against them.
But Tampa struggled running the ball. They're only averaging 77 yards rushing a game. They came out on the first play with 4 wide receivers to try to spread this Bears defense out and see if they can find the lane, but they just haven't been able to get it going.
Josh Bidwell will come on to punt. R.W. McQuarters is dropped deep for the Bucs on 4th and 8. It's a high spiral. He really got into this one. McQuarters fair catch at the last second, and he hauls it in at about his 23-yard line. Torrey Cox was down there ready to make a hit, but McQuarters got that hand up just in time. The Bears now, a team that has struggled mightily on offense, behind Jonathan Quinn making his 3rd start. Last week threw for only 65 yards. That's not good. There are the front 5. Olin Kreutz, the quickest offensive lineman that Greg Spire says he's ever seen. Thomas Jones will carry the load at the running back spot. David Terrell is the go-to guy at wide receiver. Quinn on first down outside, and Jones has a lot of room. There's a flag down, and he crosses the 40. He's across midfield. Thomas Jones may take it all the way. He has a blocker. 1 man to beat. He's inside the 5. It's a Bears touchdown if it stands. 77 yards, and that's how a quarterback gets his confidence, but I'm afraid it's going to be coming back.
A nice easy throw for Jonathan Quinn just to try to get him in a rhythm. Thomas Jones takes it all the way to the house, but unfortunately they're going to get caught for offensive pass interference.
Pass interference, number 83 in the offense. Still first down.
David Terrell, their wide receiver, just blocking downfield a little too early on that screen pass, and he was actually on the opposite side of the field from where the ball actually was thrown.
How frustrating is that?
And you can see David Terrell here just blocking right there. He blew Derek Brooks up, but he just was a little too early. You can't block while that ball is in the air, especially when it's just a swing pass outside. You can't block down the field. And that's what David Terrell did.
Well, last week, Lovie Smith looks on in frustration. Last week, his quarterback, Jonathan Quinn, threw for 65 yards. On that first play, he threw for 77. He's got to wonder what he needs to do to catch a break.
Well, that's what they've got to do with Quinn, though. They've got to get him some easy throws early, get his confidence level up, and get him in a rhythm.
It moves him all the way back inside the 15-yard line. 1st and 20 for the Bears. And they give it to the A train. Anthony Thomas with running room across the 20, gets out to the 23-yard line before Jermaine Phillips comes up to drop him from the secondary. So the A train in there to give Jones a breather. Here's how the Bucs line up defensively. The most effective rusher this year has been Greg Spires, not Simeon Rice. The linebackers, as always, anchored by Derek Brooks. Shelton Quarles returns to the lineup after an injury. It's his first start in a few weeks. And the secondary, all familiar names. Rondé Barber leads that group, and he also has 2 touchdowns. Pickup of 10 on the last play, and they hand it off to the A train again, and he crosses the 25. Short yardage this time. It was Quarles that got to him first. So it'll bring up 3rd and about 7 or 8 for the Bears. 3rd and long is not what they want to be in, JC.
No, it really isn't. That's what they want to try to stay out of. Not have Jonathan Quinn have to drop back, hold the ball, and try to find the guy downfield. They want to play 3rd and 2 to 3, so they have the option of handing it off or throwing it quickly.
3rd and 7 for Jonathan Quinn. Jones is back in the backfield. Rondé Barber says the Bucs have to get off the field on 3rd down, and they will. Quinn goes down in an avalanche of Bucs. The first man in was Dwayne White. He gave Greg Spires all the competition he wanted in training camp, and White gets his first sack of the season.
And they've done a much better job recently getting up the field. You can see White inside. He's just going to come with the speed rush, just comes off the corner. Also, Greg Spires comes around the corner, and they've done a much better job up front pressuring the quarterback. They had 4 sacks last week at St. Louis.
Brad Maynard on to boot it away after a loss of 7. Tim Brown waits at his 38-yard line, shields himself from the sun, now just gets out of the way. He lost it in that bright sun. And what John Gruden likes about Tim Brown back there is just catch it and we'll have possession. All right, the Bucs will take over. When we return, we're scoreless in the first quarter from Tampa.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Southwest Airlines, proud sponsor of the NFL and official airline of Super Bowl 39.
We're back in Tampa, and you can see this was the first play from scrimmage for the Bears. Jonathan Quinn, and to the left of your screen, JC, you see the block.
That's the block that they called for offensive pass interference. You see, blocked Derek Brooks before the ball was even thrown, and that's what they called, and that's why this long touchdown came back.
And then the Bears subsequently had to punt. We're scoreless. Brian Griese leads the Bucs out, first down from the 34. I'll call him Bob before the day's over. Throwing on first down to Clayton. Clayton has been nothing short of sensational. That's a Bucs first down at the 49.
And that's what Clayton does best. He's a quick guy, tall, long arms. He's not a burner. He's not going to just beat you down the field, but he's going to make those quick moves and catch the ball. And now they're in a no-huddle situation, so they're going to try to catch the Bears off guard.
Brian Urlacher adjusts his defense. On first down, it's Pittman, runs the right side, gaping hole in the Bears defense. He's down near the Bear 40 and close to another first down. And he has it.
This is what they want to do. They want to try to get their running game going. Right in this play, they run the zone to this side right behind Kosi Coleman and Kenyatta Walker. You can see he's just trying to find a hole. Michael Pittman, he's a guy that's got some ability. He's got to make some guys miss and then get the big run. He's only got one explosion play over 20 yards, and Gruden is looking for those plays. He wants guys to get down the field.
They send their tight end out to the wide spot and flip it out to Clayton. Heller blocking in front of him, and he's down to about the 36. Loses his headgear before he's wrestled down by Mike Green out of the Bears secondary. Pickup of about 5, 2nd and 5. This Tampa Bay offense has looked awfully efficient under the leadership of Brian Griese.
They haven't. How about Michael Clayton? Loses his helmet here again, and he's had a problem with that. His first NFL touchdown, he goes down, he loses his helmet, he gets up and he runs the rest of the way without a helmet on. So the guy better tighten up his chin strap a little bit.
But he did beat Champ Bailey on that touchdown, so that was poetic justice. 2nd and 5 for the Bucs. Griese, plenty of time, flips it for his running back Jamel White, but he overthrew him, and it'll be 3rd down. All right, let's go back to James Brown in the Fox Network Center for an NFL update.
Hey, Kevin, take a look. Detroit's rookie, Roy Williams, only 75% healthy, looks very healthy on that double move, an 18-yard haul in. Lions up 7-0 on the Giants. And then Philadelphia, 2 pass plays on their opening drive. This second one, a 10-yard haul in by tight end Chad Lewis. Eagles up 7-0 over Cleveland. And hello to Kevin Slayton and J.C. Pearson.
All right, JB, on 3rd and 5, Griese now chased out of there, has to run out of the pocket, throws downfield for Pittman, but overthrows him. And so what looked like a very promising possession will stall in Bears territory, and they'll send Josh Bidwell out to punt it away.
And really nobody for Griese to throw the ball to. When the quarterback is scrambling around, the wide receivers have got to stay alive, and you can see right here they're just running short stop routes. Now they're trying to stay open and stay alive. Griese has nobody to throw to, and Jared Vicious looks like he's open here, and it's easy to see it here, but when you're a quarterback scrambling for your life, it's hard to really look that far downfield.
All right, Bidwell will come on and kick it away. Last week against the Rams, he had a higher net than gross. That's a pretty good punting game. Berrien drops deep for the Bears. Would have been a 54-yard field goal attempt had they tried it. And Bidwell tries to kick it and kick it short of the end zone. McWhorter's giving chase with Corey Cox, but it goes into the end zone on the fly. And the Bears will start out 1st and 10 from their own 20. Here with 8:44 remaining in a scoreless first quarter. We're back at Raymond James Stadium in Tampa. The Bears and the Bucs scoreless with 8:44 remaining in the first quarter. Kevin Slayton, J.C. Pearson with you. J.C., for a quarterback that was having confidence problems, and that's Jonathan Quinn. He comes out, throws a little pass into the flat to Thomas Jones in the first play. It goes for 77 yards. His offense coordinator, Terry Shea. They get what they want, but it's called back on a penalty. How does that affect them now?
Well, obviously, he still completed the pass, and it went for a long touchdown run. That's going to give him some confidence, but this series, when they do throw the ball, he's still got to be able to throw the ball down the field and make some completion.
Thomas Jones, very patient, looking for the blocks. Gets about 3 or 4. It'll be 2nd and 6.
And the problem that Jonathan Quinn has been having, especially last week, is look how long he's holding the ball and staring down his receivers. And when he does that, he allows the defenders to close. Look how long he's holding the ball. And now he underthrows the ball. He's aiming. He's not stepping into the ball. And then again, this ball's got to be gone by now, because look at the defender all over Bobby Wade. And that's some of the problems that Jonathan Quinn has really had so far in his 2 ball games.
2nd and 7, and that one doesn't go very far. The Bucs are all over it, with Derek Brooks making the tackle on Thomas Jones. You know, last week Quinn threw for just 65 yards and had a quarterback rating almost impossible to believe, JC, of 33.5.
And a lot of it is what we just saw, him holding the ball and staring down the receivers a little too long. And like we talked about in our meeting with Jonathan Quinn, he said he knows that he's got to just trust his own abilities and drop back and let the ball go.
He faces 3rd and 5. Terrell in motion. Quinn has time, now chased out of there. He'll have to make a play with his legs. And he gets close to the first down. There's a flag downfield in the secondary. We'll wait and see what that's all about, and then see where they spot it. Looks like they're going to spot him short.
Illegal contact, number 20 of the defense. That's a 5-yard penalty, results in a first down.
That's the illegal contact crackdown that they said that they were going to really enforce this year. Anytime you hit a receiver after 5 yards, they're going to call it. Here's Wade and Barber. You can see he's in good shape right here, but that's where he gets in trouble right there. You can see he just hooks him with his left hand and trips Bobby Wade. Even though the play is going to the other side, they're going to call that every time, and that's that illegal contact crackdown that everyone's talked about so far in the National Football League.
John Gruden unhappy with it. Penalties hurting the Bucs. Rondé Barber is the one who told us that he judges a defensive performance by 3rd down percentage, getting off the field, and turnovers. Well, they've only accumulated 8 turnovers this year, and you saw there why they're having trouble getting off the field on 3rd down. Jeff Triplett, our referee, letting us know what happened. Jonathan Quinn now fakes the handoff to Jones. He has time, guns it down the middle, complete to Justin Gage. Gets away from one hit, but now goes down on the 2nd hit as Ian Gold chases him down at the 46, but it's a Chicago first down. All right, let's return to the studio in JB in the Fox Network Center for an NFL update.
Hey, Kevin, Cleveland answers right back on the next drive. 9 plays, 66 yards, capped by that 11-yard run by William Green. The ground attack for Cleveland effective. 5 carries, total of 50 yards on the ground, all knotted at 7. Back to the Cardinal man, Kevin Slayton.
All right, JB, that pass completion by Quinn, good for 21 yards. Here's Jones on the toss. Looks for a blocker. Gets inside the 45, gets dropped at about the 43. Another flag is down. Pickup of 2. So a little bit sloppy play here in the early going.
And Jonathan Quinn, we saw play before this one. He really stepped into that throw on that play action pass and hit Justin Gage down there. That's the kind of plays that he makes in practice. And here's a flag.
Illegal formation. offense. Wide receiver covers up the tight end, making it ineligible. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
You don't ever want your wide receiver covering your tight end.
And that's what happens when you do a lot of shifting and motioning. But watch Desmond Clark coming across. Watch the block that he gets right here on Greg Spires that allows Thomas Jones to get to the corner. That's that crackback block. Those defensive ends, I know what he's saying right now. He's telling somebody, hey, you better yell. Tell me when this guy is cracking the back on me.
That'll get your attention in a hurry. 1st and 15 for the Bears at their own 49-yard line. Quinn on the draw to Jones. He's taken down before it can get going. Rondé Barber into the backfield. Rondé Barber is a very good tackler, and he makes a lot of them. He was joking with us, said it looks like about a 10-tackle day for him. Well, there's one.
And he plays in that slot a lot of times, especially when the Bears are going to go 3 wide receivers. He moves into that nickel spot position, and he plays it very well. He's a good blitzer. He's not a real big guy, but he's a sure tackler, and they like to blitz him out of that nickelback slot, and a lot of times he's unblocked.
The indicator for how bad it's gone for the Bucs offense is he leads them in touchdowns with 2, and he's a defensive back. 2nd and 15. Quinn with a handoff to Jones to the 45. Jermaine Phillips is in there on the stop, a pickup of 6, and it's going to bring up 3rd and long again for the Bears.
And that's what the Bears have to be able to do. When Tampa sits back in that cover 2, they've only got 7 guys in the box against the run, so the Bears have to be able to run the ball when they get cover 2.
We saw Terry Shea, the Bears offensive coordinator. He was one of the coaches that pushed the hardest to acquire Quinn in the offseason from Kansas City. He knew him from the Chiefs, and of course he was familiar with Shea's system. 3rd and 9 from the Bucs 45. 4 receivers split out, including the tight end. Here comes the blitz. Now we've got a whistle and a flag, and that'll probably cost the Bears 5 more.
72 offense. It's a 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
Well, that's Kasim Mitchell. He got a little nervous, no doubt, staring at Simeon Rice.
Well, he knows he's got some speed rushers. That's Simeon Rice right there. And then here comes Phillips, the safety that walks down, and he gets confused. He doesn't know who he's supposed to get, and he gets out of there a little too early. But 3rd and long are situations that they definitely don't want to be in for the season. They're only at 20% conversion at 3 and 6 plus, and here they've got 3rd and 14.
Berrien in there as the 3rd receiver. Quinn with time, guns it downfield high, intended for Berrien at the 30. That was his problem last week against the Redskins. A lot of passes sailed on Quinn, and the same problem rears its ugly head here today on a 3rd and 14.
But their biggest problem right now is winning on 1st down and staying out of these 3rd and long situations. Bernard Berrien is going to come up and run this deep end route. Looks like he's open if the ball's down, but again, it sails on Jonathan Quinn. It goes too far. You can see Quinn right here just misses him, and that's been his problem. He's overthrown a lot of receivers in the 2 games that he's played. He's got to just settle down and step in and follow through and throw the ball.
Brad Maynard, the NFC's leading punter, gets a very good roll. Tim Brown didn't fair catch it, and they down it inside the 5. So that'll put the Bucs in a very bad field position, and the crowd lets Tim Brown know they didn't like that he didn't fair catch it. 46-yard punt. We're scoreless in Tampa Bay. It's a big sports day and night on Fox. Tonight, sports' greatest moments continues on Fox with Game 2 of the World Series as the Red Sox look to take a 2-game-to-none lead with the Cardinals as they try to even the series before heading back to St. Louis. The drama continues tonight, 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific here on Fox. It'll be Matt Morris and Curt Schilling, and we don't know how healthy Schilling's ankle will be after that surgical procedure that he had, but we will find out only on Fox tonight. Bucs 1st down inside their 5. Pittman nearly lost yards, but now gets across the 5-yard line before he's taken down by Michael Haynes, who got the start today on the Bears defensive line. Agunlia injuring his leg, and he is out. And they miss him because he was the AFC's leading sack man last year with 15. 25 and a half the last 3 years in 37 games, and Haynes is filling some big shoes for the Bears.
And Haynes is a much better run defender than he is a pass rusher, so what they're going to try to do is get Alex Brown, of course, coming off that other end.
2nd and 7 for the Bucs. Pittman on the toss, looks for running room, but there's very little there, and he goes down as he gets about 2. Alex Brown chased him down along with Lance Briggs, the linebacker, number 55.
And Alex Brown has done a good job, and he's really improved against the run. You're going to see him coming off the edge, and he's just going to run this play down. He's a guy with a lot of speed, and look at him just flatten out, come down the line of scrimmage, and get in on that play. He's done a good job against the run. He's always been a pretty good pass rusher, really excelled at that in college.
3rd and 7 for the Bucs. Oh, that might draw 15 more. Tommy Harris, the rookie, took a liberty with Brian Griese, and the Bucs don't like it. And they shouldn't. And they shouldn't.
And Tommy Harris, you've got to keep your composure there. They get you to jump off sides. That's bad enough. But then when you push the quarterback, he's lucky they don't get him for an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty and add 15 more on.
Derek Deese of the Bucs took exception. The veteran used to be, of course, with the 49ers.
You know, Tommy Harris is a rookie, their top pick.
There are 2 fouls on the play. Offside. Defense, number 91, unabated to the quarterback. That penalty is declined. Personal foul, unnecessary roughness. Number 91, the defense. That penalty is accepted. 15 yards, automatic first down.
And see, that's just a rookie mistake there. Of course, you like for your players to be fired up and intense and ready to go, but you've got to be smart about it. He's just going to jump off sides. The cadence gets him off sides, and he's fine there, but there's where he got the unsportsmanlike right there. You got to keep your composure. Yes, you're upset that they drew you off sides, but you can't just unload and push the quarterback like that.
Lovey's going to plead his case, but to no avail. The Bears heavily penalized in this game so far. Big one on offense, now a big one on defense, and Pittman can't get anywhere. That's Alex Brown getting penetration, beating Derek Deese and making the tackle.
Alex Brown again just coming off that edge with speed, and Derek Deese is having some problems with him right now. But Alex Brown is just going to beat Deese up the field, around the corner and right in the backfield. Michael Pittman has nowhere to go.
Loss of 2, 2nd and 12, and Griese will go to the air for Pittman. He's at the 25, gets to the 28, short of the first down. They need to get to the 32, and it'll bring up 3rd and short. Pickup of 9 for the Bucs.
Brought down by Lance Briggs.
Lance Briggs of the Bears was out there, number 55, their linebacker. Those mistakes will kill you, JC. They nullified the touchdown on the first play of the game, and they got the Bucs out of a hole here with a crazy penalty from Tommy Harris. 3rd and 3. Griese will throw. Here comes Alex Brown. He was right in his face, but he's got his man Pittman wide open down the sidelines. Inside the Bears 30 to the 25. What a courageous throw from Brian Griese, and Todd Johnson saved the touchdown.
And give Griese a lot of credit for hanging in there and letting Michael Pittman run down the field. They got him isolated on Brian Urlacher right here, and Urlacher's got that sore hamstring. They run kind of a rub route, and Urlacher just gets rubbed off, and Pittman goes down the sideline. You see Urlacher still favoring that hamstring. He told us last night it's not 100%. He can't run full speed, and the Buccaneers took advantage of him that time.
46 yards to the Bears 25, and the Bucs in scoring position here for the first time all day. Allstott, the lone running back behind Griese. And he'll get his carry, his first one of the day over the left side, dips it outside, has some room, first down near the 10-yard line and inside the 10. They'll mark it actually outside at the 11 where he went out of bounds first.
And that's a big play for them because they haven't had a lot of big running plays this year, but Allstott out of that one-back set does a good job getting to the outside and setting up his blockers. Dips inside. Watch Allstott. He's going to come in, dip in, and then get back outside. This little dip right here sets up his block, and now he's able to get around the corner. That's a good job by big Allstott out there at 250 pounds.
So the Buccaneers are threatening at the end of the first quarter with a score: Tampa 0, Chicago 0. Fox NFL Sunday will continue after these messages and a word from your local Fox station. We We start the second quarter in Tampa with the Bucs having a first down at the Bears 11 after the big play of this drive, a 46-yard pass to the running back Michael Pittman. By the way, that play gave him more yards passing than he had all year. Allstott gets the carry, bulldozes his way down near the 1-yard line. They'll mark it at the 2, and it'll be second down and 1.
Well, this is their tank package, their short yardage goal line package. They bring in an extra fullback and put Allstott at tailback. You can see he's just going to get the lead draw, cut it back outside, and then when you've got him on some defensive backs, it's a mismatch. He just runs right over Todd Johnson and Mike Green. 250 pounds. Allstott in the red zone is a load to stop.
Second and 1 from the 2. Jameel Cook in there, and now Brian Greasy wants a timeout. Didn't like what he saw as we have opened the second quarter here in Tampa. We'll come back on a beautiful day in South Florida. Back in Tampa, Lovie Smith, the Bears head coach, looking on in frustration as we've begun the second quarter of a scoreless game, and he's frustrated because it's big penalties. First play of the game cost him, JC.
And David Terrell, you're going to see him at the top of the screen right here. Just offensive interference. They get him on that, and that nullifies this 75-yard touchdown run by Thomas Jones. And then on this drive, Tommy Harris jumps off sides and then gets a roughing call, unnecessary roughness by pushing the quarterback. Got Tampa out of the hole, and now they've driven the ball all the way down to the Bears' 2-yard line.
And Lovie might have a chat with Tommy Harris. Tommy's father is an Army man, and that was a lack of discipline there.
It sure was, but you know, when you're a team that's struggling also, you can't afford to beat yourselves, and that's what the Bears have done so far, is hurt themselves. They've taken 7 points off the board, then they go down. Tommy Harris gets 2 penalties and gives the Bucs a lot of room to work, and now the Bucs are on the verge of going in for a touchdown themselves.
Yeah, the Bucs are ready to concede that possession inside their 5-yard line until that penalty. Second and 1 from the 2. Jameel Cook to block for Allstott. Allstott runs into trouble. Briggs has him, and down he goes for a loss. The first man through was Todd Johnson, number 32, and then Briggs hit him and made sure he wasn't going anywhere. And now the Bucs are going to be perhaps in a passing situation.
Well, good defense by the Bears. You see everybody's attacking the line of scrimmage. Allstott really has nowhere to run the ball. And that's the Bears. They've struggled stopping the run some this year, but in the red zone they've been pretty good because they're attacking the line of scrimmage. Hunter Hillenmeyer there also making the play. Lance Briggs, when those linebackers are attacking, coming forward, that's when they're at their best.
Bucs only have 1 rushing touchdown this year, and now on third down, Greasy will throw for it. We saw him working on this in practice. He's just going to throw it away. He was being pressured by Ian Scott, and so the Bucs let a golden opportunity slip through their hands. With second and 1 from the 2, they're forced to kick a field goal, and John Gruden can't possibly be happy with that.
They were trying to run the boot, the play action pass, and get Ken Dilger for the touchdown, but Dilger got held up at the line of scrimmage, couldn't get off the line and get in his pass pattern, and Brian Greasy had nowhere to throw the ball.
Martin Gramatica will come on and attempt one from 22 yards. He missed 2 last week against the Rams and really hurt the Bucs. He's 4 for 4 from this distance, though. And that one is up and through the uprights, and that puts the Bucs on the board first with Gramatica's 22-yard field goal. They lead with 13:25 left in the first half, 3-0. We're back in Tampa. Kevin Slayton, J.C. Pearson with you. 3-0 Tampa Bay after the field goal from Gramatica. You know, the Bucs offense in the red zone, 4 touchdowns and 14 possessions. That's the worst in the NFC.
And they've only got 1 rushing touchdown all year. And you would think with a guy like Allstott at 250 pounds that when you get into the red zone, in particular inside the 5-yard line, you'd be able to punch it in. But they've really struggled in that area all year.
John Gruden, who told us the other day, I'm not fun to be around right now. But he's quite an engaging conversation. Jerry Azuma waits for the kickoff from Martin Gramatica. 3-0 the Bucs. Gramatica short again at the 11. It's Azuma. He'll take it straight up, looks for the seam, and runs into a wall at the 30-yard line in the person of Corey Ivy and John Howell. We'll step away and return to Raymond James Stadium. 13-17 remaining in the first half with the Bucs on top.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by the new Chevrolets. 10 new cars and trucks in 20 months, an American revolution. By ArcaX, the world's largest fully electronic stock exchange. By Miller, there's good enough and there's better than it has to be. Miller, good call. And by Circuit City. For the hottest new technology, think Circuit City, just what I needed.
Back on a sunny day in Tampa, Florida, the Bears and the Bucs battling, each looking for their second win. So far, Tampa Bay leads it. Jonathan Quinn, the Bears quarterback, hasn't thrown much today. Only 38 net yards offensively for the Bears. Last week against Washington, their defense had more yards in the first half than their offense. Quinn throws this one out on first down, completes it to the A train, but immediately taken down by Jermaine Phillips on the far side.
But those are positive yards, and for this offense, in particular, Jonathan Quinn, that's what they need so he can stay out of the 3rd and long situations. And he really got rid of that ball a lot quicker than he's done the last couple games. And he told us when we sat down with him, Kevin, that he understands that he's got to throw the ball. He's got to trust himself and his wide receivers and just drop back and let it go.
Thomas Jones watches A train carry it straight up the middle. It gets to the 35-yard line. Pickup of 2. So it's going to bring up 3rd and 5. The Bears, we've detailed their struggles offensively, and this is what we're talking about. 3 and outs, 13. 18% on 3rd down.
And 18 punts, and look at the offensive points per game. Only 6 points. You're not going to win a lot of ball games in the National Football League if you don't put points on the board, and that's why they're struggling the way they are right now.
3rd and 5. That's Wade in motion, burying the 3rd receiver. Quinn guns it outside for Wade. First down across the 40. Barber there. He gets help from Derek Brooks and Brian Kelly to bring Bobby Wade down, but it's a Bears first down, and that's a more manageable situation, JC. 3rd and 5.
It sure is, and Bobby Wade did a good job just running the option route out of the slot. You can see one thing Quinn is doing still. He's still eyeing one receiver, looking at Bobby Wade, waiting for him to uncover. Wade does a good job of selling Rondé Barber inside and coming back out, making the catch and getting up the field.
First down at their own 46. Bears with 3 wide receivers again. A train the lone setback. Quinn in trouble. Down he goes, and that's Simeon Rice. And that time he beat Mitchell. His 3rd sack of the season. A loss of 6. Monty Kiffin, their defensive coordinator, was telling us we need more sacks.
Well, we talked about Quinn holding the ball too long, but this is not his fault. Simeon Rice gives Kasim Mitchell an inside move, and Quinn really has no time to set up and look downfield. You can see, looks like he's going to start his motion out. By that time, Simeon Rice is all over him. What they've done, Mitchell has had some trouble pass blocking. They normally keep a tight end over there to help him out.
2nd and 16 after the loss of 6. Quinn to the air. Here comes trouble again. They flip it out to A-Train on the screen. Quarles is there first. The ball pops loose, but they say it was down. Torrey Cox was there also for Tampa Bay, defending a pickup of 2. And it's going to bring up 3rd and 14 for Jonathan Quinn. So the sack hurts, and he's not getting a lot of help from that left side of his offensive line, JC.
He's not a lot of pressure on him that time. Even though they were setting up the screen, the pressure got to him real fast, and he had to just dump the ball off. And that's when you're playing into Tampa's hands. Watch all the white jerseys running out there. Shelton Quarles all over the A-train. They've got 5 guys out there around the ball, and when you run a screen, the idea is to get those guys up the field.
Out of the shotgun, and I think Kasim Mitchell moved again.
Prior to the snap, false start. Number 76 for the offense. 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
I think they could have taken their pick. That time it was John Tate, the tackle that came over from Kansas City in the offseason.
And he's played very well so far, but both of these tackles today, they've got their hands full with these speed rushers. Spires on one side, Simeon Rice on the other, and they know that these guys are coming, especially in a 3rd and long situation, and that's why those tackles are having so many problems and jumping off sides.
And now whistles stop the play before it can start. Well, this is the kind of situation that would get Jonathan Quinn in trouble. These 3rd and longs are dangerous. I'm not sure what they're talking about.
And what the Bucs are going to do, they're just going to sit back in that cover 2 zone Allow him to throw the ball short. They don't want to make sure that they don't give Quinn any confidence and complete a pass down the field. When we talked to the Bears yesterday, they said, when we talked to Tampa Bay, Monty Kiffin said, hey, we can come after him, put a lot of pressure on him, but we don't want to give him a big play, or we can sit back in coverage because the guy's struggling throwing the ball. Let's not give him anything easy.
And he said specifically, he told his defensive players, we don't want this to be Quinn's breakout game.
Exactly. They don't want Jonathan Quinn to make a name off of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They want to make sure that he has struggles. They're going to disguise their coverages. They're going to come after him some, but the thing they want to do with Jonathan Quinn is keep him confused.
He mentioned a number of quarterbacks that came out of nowhere. Kurt Warner, of course, for the Rams, Tom Brady for the Patriots, Jake Delhomme, and Tampa's own Brad Johnson. All have at least played in the Super Bowl. 3 have won, Brady winning 2 of them, of course. And Monty Kiffin didn't want to give that kind of a confidence boost to Jonathan Quinn today.
Oh, that's a good group of unknowns right there.
You bet it is. You take any one of them.
Inadvertently placed the ball at the wrong spot after the penalty enforcement. It's now been corrected. 3rd down.
So the ball is placed at the Bears 36, and it'll be 3rd and 19. Four receivers, including a tight end in the slot. And it's Justin Gage, hangs on, gets to the 47, well short of the 1st down. That's the 2nd catch for Gage after he'd caught 3 all season.
And that was a nice quick throw by Jonathan Quinn, but that's exactly what the Buccaneers wanted. They were sitting back deep in that cover 2 zone. They want the ball to be thrown short so that they can rally and make the tackle and force Chicago to punt the ball. You can see right here, giving Gage a lot of room underneath, but they just rally to the ball. There's 3 guys around him right here. They stop him short of the 1st down, and now they get the ball back.
The fans are kind of letting Tim Brown have it. He's back in to receive the punt. He didn't call for the fair catch last time, and it cost them dearly field position. Now he does, and he catches it inside the 10-yard line. So they'll start from their 6-yard line. The Bucs are in a hole again. Another fine punt from Maynard of 46 yards. We're back in Tampa. The Bucs lead at 3-0. Kevin Slayton, J.C. Pearson with you. Joe Jurevicius getting his first start of the season. He's the 4th split end in 6 games for the Bucs. John Gruden was telling us the other day at practice, I know teams that have had one guy for 14 years. We've had 4 in 6 games.
And that makes what Brian Griese has done even that much more special, because he hasn't had a chance to get a rapport and timing with these wide receivers. They're just rotating them in and out.
Michael Pittman with a blocker in front. Outside the 10 to the 15, Todd Johnson. And Lance Briggs there to meet him as he crossed the 15, but another big hole gashing that Bears front. All right, let's go to JB in the Fox Network Center for an NFL update.
Hey, Kevin, and what we'll take a look at is Kansas City running back. I know you thought I was going to say Priest Holmes. Nope, Derek Blaylock. He takes it 7 yards to pay dirt. 81 yards on the ground for Kansas City. That against the #1 rush defense in the league. 14-3. KC, back to Kevin.
All right, JB, Michael Pittman here is gashing the Bears, but nothing doing on that play. He's smothered just as he took the handoff.
But enough for a 1st down, and if they can get 1st downs running the ball, it took them 2 plays there to do that. That's really going to open up this offense, because the Bears are going to have to play that 8th guy in the box, walk that safety down, Mike Green, and then that means those guys on the outside are going to have to man up.
The Bears have had the Bucs backed up inside their 10 on 2 consecutive possessions and have let them escape both times. Mel White in there now at the running back spot to replace Pittman. Griese with plenty of time behind Clayton, but he hauls it in as he crosses the 30. And boy, you love to have a receiver who can do that.
And that's why they really like Michael Clayton. He's not afraid to go over the middle of the field, make a catch. And it's all set up because of the run. Now he's going to come up on this play action pass, just run this in route at 10 yards. The linebackers have jumped all the way up into the line of scrimmage. Really an easy throw for Brian Griese to Michael Clayton.
12-yard pickup and another Buck 1st down. He had a breakout game against the Rams on Monday night with 142 yards and 8 catches. 1st down for the Bucs across their own 30. He flips it outside for Dilger, but he overthrew him. Bring up 2nd and 10 for the Bucs. Well, the Bears gave up 218 yards rushing a week ago, and the Bucs have had some holes, but they can't get that breakout run that John Gruden was talking to us about the other day, JC, where they want that 20 or 25-yard run.
And it's really a mystery to them why they haven't been able to do that. They go back and they look at film of all the other teams who are successful running the ball, and they said, hey, we run the same plays, we do the same things, but we're just not getting the big play.
Ron Rivera, the Bears defensive coordinator, doesn't want him to get one today. 2nd and 10, Greasy has time, has to get rid of it to White, and he's going nowhere because he's immediately dropped by R.W. McQuarters. Pickup of 1. 3rd and 9 for the Bucs. We've had a lot of big plays so far in this game. The one for the Bears was called back, a 77-yard touchdown pass to Thomas Jones on the first play of the game, and then a 46-yard completion from Brian Greasy to Michael Pittman that set up their field goal. And they need one here on 3rd and 9. Tim Brown in there. Greasy, the quick drop, hits Jurevicius. He has a first down. At the 46-yard line, he is a crowd favorite, and he signals the first down himself.
And they are really glad to get Jurevicius back on the field. He's been out about a whole year, and he's a guy that brings some stability. He's just going to run that slant up top. They're blitz adjusting, and he's got a big body, 6'5", 230 pounds, and all he has to do is just jump inside that cornerback, and he's a big target for Brian Greasy to hit.
Both knee and back surgery kept him out for that lengthy period of time. Greasy on first down. Underneath to Jurevicius. He breaks the tackle and gets to the Bears 45, and now a flag comes flying in. And we'll wait and see what that's all about. 9-yard pickup. So some more extracurricular activity from these two teams.
There is no foul on the play as the player tried to hold each other up. It's 2nd down.
Jeff Triplett explaining it to us. Joe Jurevicius making his return to the lineup today.
And they are glad to have this guy back. He's made some big plays in his career here at the Buccaneers. You see 11 touchdown catches in 7 years, but he's a big body, a guy that can run. You don't see a big guy like that and think that he's going to run by you, but Jurevicius, he's got that sneaky speed, but better yet, he's got great hands.
That 71-yarder you saw against the Eagles that led the Bucs into their Super Bowl. Allstott, short yardage, close to the first down. He was thrown back by Adonijay, and he got help from Hillenmeyer.
They're just running that inside lead behind Jamil Cook, number 43. That's their short yardage package. They bring Cook in and line Allstott up at the tailback position, just trying to bang out a first down.
It's going to be 3rd and 1. Pittman and Allstott are in the backfield. See what Greasy has up his sleeve. The toss goes to Pittman. He needs a block. Oh, he runs over a guy. That's Todd Johnson hanging on for dear life. It's a first down for the Bucs inside the Bear 40. 8-yard pickup for Pittman.
I just talked about Allstott playing the tailback position. Well, now they move him back to the fullback position, and he gets a great block. Watch Allstott lead Michael Pittman on this toss. He comes up, does a great job on Urlacher, and Pittman's able to jump right inside of him and then just carry Todd Johnson for an extra 4 or 5 yards.
Tell you what, you get a look at Pittman's biceps. If he hit you with his bicep, he'd knock you 5 yards. First down for the Bucs. They're at the Bear 38. They lead 3-0. Allstott, the lone setback. He gets the call. Cuts it back nicely and gets down near the 30 before he's run down by Hillenmeyer. You don't usually see a guy that big with that kind of cutting ability, JC.
And I hear the surprise in your voice, Kevin, just like the Bears are surprised that he cut that ball back. Normally, that's a play that he's going to stay front side on. Like you said, he's not the swiftest and the fleetest of foot, but does a good job seeing the whole backside in that zone stretch and is able to cut back and pick up a big gain.
7 yards that time for Allstott. Allstott's Army here at the game. He gets tickets for them. 2nd out and 3 from the Bear 30. This is White. Tries the right side, gets one, maybe two. Urlacher chasing him down, along with Alex Brown. You know, it's interesting. The running game is starting to wear on the Bears a little bit here.
And that's been the Bears' problem all year. They've given up a lot of rushing yards. They haven't given up a lot of points, and they said, hey, that's the #1 thing for us is points allowed, and they haven't given up a lot of points. But what happens when you allow a team to just run the ball on you? They're going to control the time of possession. They're going to keep your offense on the sideline, and when your offense is not playing well, you don't have a big, quick strike offense. They've got to be on the field.
3rd and 2 for the Bucs. Allstott behind Greasy. He'll throw for it. Plenty of time, completes it to Dilger, the tight end. 1st down inside the 20. Urlacher brings him down, but there is a flag.
There's a flag on the play, but look at all the time that Greasy has to throw the ball.
Offense. 6 men on the line of scrimmage. It's a 5-yard penalty.
Well,
still 3rd down.
Well, that's a killer. It nullifies a Bucs 1st down, and they'll have a 3rd down and longer situation facing them when we come back with 2 minutes left. Great doubleheader action here on Fox today. The Cowboys and the Packers, the Seahawks and the Cardinals, or the Saints versus the Raiders. Presented in Fox Sports High Definition. Kevin Slayton, J.C. Pearson with you in Tampa, where the Bucs lead the Bears 3-0 at the 2-minute warning. And the Bucs, who had just picked up a 1st down inside the 20, now after the illegal procedure penalty, face 3rd and 7 from the Bear 34.
We talked about how Chicago struggled on 3rd and 6 plus. Well, so far this year, Tampa Bay's only 18% on 3rd downs with more than 6 yards to go.
Juravicius picked up a key 1st down a few moments ago on just such a play. Greasy's going to throw. Has time now, loses that time, but gets it out complete anyway. And it's Tim Brown on the far side, and he has the 1st down inside the 15. Greasy got dropped by Tank Johnson, but he hung in there long enough.
And that's what John Gruden loves about this guy. This guy knows how to play this position. He's excelled at it in the past, and he's come in and done a great job. Watch, there's no panic here whatsoever. He's getting pressure, but he's looking downfield, and he finds Tim Brown open right before he gets hit. But a lot of younger quarterbacks, they're going to just try to pull that ball down.
14-yard pickup. That's 179 straight gains for Tim Brown with a reception as he chases Jerry Rice's record. Greasy had it tipped from behind, and it just floats harmlessly to the ground at about the 10-yard line. Be 2nd and 10 from the 20. 179 straight. That's a lot of games catching a pass.
You know, Brian Greasy's been very efficient in this offense. Right now, he finds a guy open. The pass just gets blocked right there by Idonije, just coming over the top. But Brian Greasy, he's not even paying attention to the pressure. He's got his eyes down the field trying to find an open receiver. That's why his completion percentage is so high.
He's hit 9 of 14 for 121 yards. 2nd and 10. He's going for the end zone. Overthrows Juravicius. He had him open. Those are the kind that quarterbacks see in their sleep, aren't they?
That's one that he rushed just a bit, and the ball sailed on him. He was still getting pressure again from Ian Scott, number 95. But this is a ball that Brian Greasy knows he should complete right here. Ian Scott right in his face, but the ball just sails on Brian Greasy over Juravicius, and Juravicius was open.
Well, you don't want to expose Juravicius like that after he just can't come back from back surgery and knee surgery. 15th play of the drive. A lot of movement. Juravicius, McQuarters, they point at each other, of course.
And there's no excuse for a wide receiver to ever start before the ball snap, because when you're lining up, you're supposed to be.
Start. Number 8 of the offense. It's a 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
And they call it on Brian Greasy, but Juravicius, he's the only guy that took off out there. The offensive line and everyone else stayed in place.
Juravicius says thank you very much.
Yeah, exactly.
Minute left in the half. We'll see if Greasy did anything to draw their attention.
You can see that dip right there.
Yeah.
Greasy, he forgot what the snap count was on. He started to pull out of there, and that's what they got.
They give it to Pittman. Pittman inside the 20, inside the 15, heads for the 1st down, and has it inside the 10. Michael Pittman Todd Johnson saved a touchdown, a 19-yard pickup. There's the big gainer John Gruden's been looking for.
It has. They've struggled in the running game coming into this game, but they've been able to get it on track. Today, Pittman gets a big run early. Allstott gets involved, and he has a couple big runs. Then Pittman around the outside, so they've been able to get the ball inside in the running game. They've been able to get it outside, and that's exactly what Gruden was looking for coming into today. And they felt like today they were going to get on track running the ball. They felt like this was going to be their breakout game, and so far this first half, they've been able to run it.
You saw what Pittman's done. He's also caught 2 passes for 55 yards. We're coming back. Back in Tampa, the view from the Buccaneers ship is a pretty good one. That's the end zone the Bucs are attacking right now. Kevin Slayton, J.C. Pearson with you. Tampa leads at 3-0. And this has been a frustrating area for the Bucs offense. It's been the black hole for them where touchdowns go to die. They don't seem to be able to score when they get in the red zone, and they didn't earlier. They had a 2nd and 1 from the 2 and ended up having to kick a field goal. 1st and goal. Greasy to throw for, and touchdown to Clayton.
Well, that's one way to do it. Go to your big-time rookie wide receiver, Clayton, and he excels at running those slant routes. Just jumps inside of Jerry Azuma, who's making his first start back this year. Azuma's been out with injuries, so he's playing a little too loose at that cornerback position.
2nd touchdown catch of the season for Michael Clayton. The 4th touchdown pass for Greasy with just 1 interception. Grammatica on to tack on the extra point to give the Bucs a 10-0 lead, and he does it with 48 seconds left in the half. So the Bucs have looked good today offensively, and they actually get one in the end zone. So that's cause for rejoicing here in Tampa as the Bucs lead it 10-0. Well, the question in Chicago, to be or not to be. Who is thou starting quarterback?
Well, I think you still stay with Quinn right now. He hasn't played that badly. Their problem has been penalties. Obviously, on the first play of the game, he throws just a swing pass that goes for a touchdown, and it gets called back. And then from that point on, whenever they've started to get anything going, it seemed like penalties really shot him in the foot.
That's the 2nd straight 93-yard drive for the Bucs offense, so Quinn hasn't had a lot of opportunity if the defense is on the field the whole time. They've resulted in a field goal and a touchdown at a Bucs 10-0 lead. A low kick from Grammatica. They don't want Azuma to return it. He's going to gather it in at his 8-yard line. He led the NFL in kickoff returns a year ago, but he's not going far this time. Stops short of the 25-yard line. Hey, coming up on the Visa halftime show, JB, Terry, Howie, and Jimmy are going to have scores and highlights from around the league, and our Fox Sports ticker will have up to the second stats. That's all coming up on the Visa halftime show. 10-0 here. The Bucs lead with 41 seconds to go. Do you try something here, JC? Do you try to get a score?
Oh, no question about it. With 41 seconds left, you still got timeouts on the board. You've got to try to throw the ball with Johnson and Quinn and try to get down the field and at least try to come away with the field goal.
4 receivers split. Thomas Jones the lone back. Quinn underthrows Terrell on the far side. That was a problem a week ago. The receivers were angry about it. We saw some emotion from Bobby Wade during the game. David Terrell after the game.
And you see the problem. He's just not throwing the ball. He's aiming the ball, trying to place it in a certain spot. Look, he just doesn't throw the ball. He short arms it. The ball drops about 5 yards short, and that's the problem, or one of the problems that he's been having. He's just got to turn it loose, and right now it looks like he's still feeling a lot of that pressure.
Terrell without a catch so far today. Quinn has Spires draped around him and overthrows Gage, his tight end. Clark was wide open down the seam, but I guess he didn't see him. Clark has really had an adjustment. Last year he caught 44 balls, but this year he's only caught 5.
Well, he didn't see Clark because he was just staring at Justin Gage the whole way, and that's something the Redskins noticed from him last week, is that he's just locking on to one guy. Look, he doesn't look off the safeties, and the safeties in great position because of it, but if he looks around, goes through his progression reads, he'll find a receiver open.
3rd and 10. Quinn fires high for Terrell, and it gets knocked away by Dwight Smith. He should have had that one, though. It was delivered late again, and again, JC, he's staring him down.
It was. Those safeties, they've watched film, and wherever he looks, they are running to right away. Dwight Smith sees him looking outside at Terrell, and he just runs right to him. You can see Terrell's going to just run the slant, but watch Smith. He's just going to sit right here and read Quinn, and look at him break on the ball even before the ball comes out of Quinn's hands because he sees Quinn's eyes.
Maynard will come in to punt it away with 20 seconds remaining. A high end over end kick. Brown, a fair catch at his 41. Now with 16 seconds, do they take a shot?
No question. Anytime you're in this position, you're playing to win the ball game. You've got 16 seconds, 14 seconds left in the half. You've got one timeout left. You can afford to take a couple shots downfield.
A 34-yard punt from Maynard, who leads the NFC in punting at a time when he needed to boom one. Well, I would imagine that Clayton and Juravicius will be two of the targets Greasy will be looking for here. The Bucs already lead at 10-0, and they've been very efficient offensively. Back-to-back 93-yard drives resulting in a field goal and a touchdown. Well, they're just going to sit on it. Jamel White goes nowhere. The fans don't like it. Lance Briggs drops him, and they'll head to the locker room with a 10-point lead. The Bucs will, in search of their second win. The Bears also looking for number 2, but it's 10-0 Tampa Bay. Fox NFL Sunday continues. JB, Terry, Howie, and Jimmy along with the Visa halftime show after these messages. Back in Tampa, the Bucs lead at halftime. Let's go down to Chip Carter. He caught up with John Gruden moments ago.
Coach, give me your impressions of the first half. Back-to-back 93 drives. You wanted to come in here and be able to run the football.
Well, we're getting better. I think it's a credit to our football team on both sides. We're missing Mike Pittman now. We're missing Derek Deese amongst a lot of other guys, but we're hanging in there. We got 30 minutes to go.
Thanks a lot, Coach. Let's go back upstairs to Kevin.
All right, Chip, that was John Gruden. With the score 10-0, Tampa will return for the start of the second half after these messages. We're back at Raymond James Stadium in Tampa, Florida. The Bucs ahead of the Bears at halftime. 10-0. Kevin Slayton and J.C. Pearson with you. Hope you're enjoying the telecast. And Jonathan Quinn was the starter for the Bears at quarterback. Didn't produce any points, but it wasn't necessarily his fault, J.C. Penalties killed them.
They did, and plus they didn't have the ball very much. Chicago defensively, they just have not stopped Tampa Bay. They've controlled the time of possession. They've kept the ball by running it, short passes. So Jonathan Quinn really hasn't had too many opportunities.
No, the Bucs, in fact, put together back-to-back 93-yard drives. They were back to their own goal line, but the Bears defense allowed them to escape both times. The first one resulting in a field goal. The second one, this one, in a Tampa touchdown. It was a mixture of the running of Michael Pittman and Brian Greasy to his rookie receiver Michael Clayton and Joe Juravicius.
And he spread the ball around. Juravicius has caught a few. Clayton's caught a few, but really they've been able to run the ball. Pittman has been able to run it outside. Then they get Allstott involved running it outside as well as inside. And when you can run the ball as well as they've run it the first half, it's going to open up the play-action passing game for them, and that's where Greasy's been most effective.
And that rookie receiver Michael Clayton getting the touchdown to make it 10-0. Now let's go down to the field. Chip Carter is there with Bears coach Lovie Smith. Chip?
Thanks, Coach. I guess the question, second half, are we going to see Craig Krenzel?
Craig Krenzel will start the second half.
What do you got to do to try and generate some kind of offense? Obviously, you hope he's going to provide a spark.
Hey, we got to complete some passes. We got to do a little bit better job with our running game. We got to run our offense.
All right, thanks a lot, Coach. Let's toss it back upstairs to Kevin.
All right, Chip, thanks a lot. It will be the rookie fifth-round draft pick, Craig Krenzel, the Ohio State quarterback that led them to a national championship. That last sequence of downs for the Bears, JC, is when Jonathan Quinn started to revert back.
And I guess they had a short leash on him, and it was very short because he didn't get very many opportunities. If they would have gotten that score on the first play of the ball game, we've got a different looking game here. But again, they're looking for a spark offensively. Quinn did miss a few throws, so they're hoping that Krenzel can come in and give them that spark, move this offense, manage it, and then get them in the end zone.
And they'll get the ball first to start it off. Grammatica will kick it off. Well, if you're Krenzel, are you nervous right now, or are you just excited to play?
He is nervous, I guarantee you. Coming out of Ohio State, he wasn't even supposed to play this year. They didn't want to play him, but now they're forced to. He's going to come in, and
well,
they fumble the ball.
He's not going to get his chance. Jason McKee, the up back, took it, didn't lateral it to Azuma. And we'll wait until we get the official word from the referee on the field, but the Tampa players are signaling it's their ball. There's a scrum going on down there, and Torrey Cox comes out of that pile with it, and the Bucs have it. What a huge turnover by Jason McKee. And there's a bear down. It may well be McKee.
It is McKee. You can see he's trying to get the ball upfield. Looks like he takes a shot low and the ball comes out. I don't quite see where he got injured there. If anything, it might be his knee, but didn't look like he got hit up top. Looked like somebody came and got a helmet right on his arm and kicked that ball out of there.
Torrey Cox recovered it. Looked like it was John Howell that made the hit, but McKee could have easily lateraled to Azuma, but chose not to. So we'll come back 10-0 the Bucs.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Southwest Airlines, proud sponsor of the NFL and official airline of Super Bowl 39.
Back in Tampa as we start the third quarter. There's the tail of the tape from the first half, and it's not a pretty picture for the Bears.
No, just total domination by Tampa Bay. Really, the rushing yards, 92 yards. They came in only averaging 77 yards a game. They get almost 100 in the first half, and that really opened up the passing game for them as well.
And there's your fantasy update. For the latest in fantasy stats, log on to foxsports.com. Well, Jason McKee is injured on that kick return. He was taken off on a cart. First down for the Bucs as Pittman cuts it back nicely inside the 35. And he's down to the 31 before Johnson comes up from the secondary to make the stop. And Pittman is running hard. Another big gainer of 12.
Well, Tampa felt like they were going to be able to run the ball today against the Chicago Bears defense. You can see he's going to start front side and just cut it all the way back. Where Chicago's having problems is guys controlling their gaps. You can see Lance Briggs right here. He jumps way inside. He's got to maintain his outside position, and that gives Pittman a lot of room around the corner.
First down Bucs. That's Clayton in motion. Pittman has to get rid of one, and he does a nice job of stiff-arming Green. Now down the sidelines inside the 10 before he was run down by Ian Scott, and Scott stays down after that collision, and Pittman's not jumping right up either.
The other problem the Bears have had all year is missed tackles. Look at Mike Green. He just gets stiff-armed by Pittman right here, and then he allows Pittman to get to the outside. You've got to turn that ball carrier back into your help, the pursuit. That's been a problem for the Bears all year. They will get one guy out of position in gap control. Then when they have a guy in position, he'll miss a tackle, and they give up another big play on the ground.
19 yards that time. You saw the numbers today. Pittman rushing versus the Bears. And the Bears' output is very little. Ron Rivera, the defensive coordinator of the Bears, can't be happy with what he's viewing here. Bucs ready to score again. We're coming back to Tampa after this. First down for Tampa at the 14 of the Bears. Opening possession of the third quarter after the fumbled kickoff by McKee. Greasy will throw. In trouble. Fires for the end zone for Jurevicius, but he was just throwing it away. They've gotten down here because of the effective running game, and Michael Pittman has been doing the bulk of the work.
And the Bears have been having problem in gap control. Watch Lance Briggs. He needs to stay outside. Watch him get sucked down inside on the play. Look at, and there's nobody outside. Azuma gets walled off out there by Michael Clayton, and now Pittman has a huge hole to run through, and that's been their problem, is gap control.
He has 92 yards rushing today, Pittman does, and the Bucs have rushed for a season high 123. There's Allstott. He gets away from Urlacher and powers his way inside the 10. Mike Green coming up from the secondary to help on the stop. You don't get away from Urlacher very often.
Not very often, but again, it's the same old song for the Bears defensively. When they do get guys up the field and in their gaps, they miss a tackle. We saw Mike Green miss one, and now here's Urlacher coming downhill attacking the ball, but he doesn't wrap up Allstott. He just tries to arm tackle him. Allstott breaks through that and turns a loss into a gain.
Urlacher told us last night that the Bears defenders don't concentrate enough. They kind of float around out there, and he included himself in that. Greasy throws it outside, completes it to Allstott. Boy, he runs over McQuarters, and now 4 or 5 more Bears, including Tommy Harris and Urlacher and Briggs, combined to bring that big bull Allstott down. It's going to be 4th down.
It's 4th and short, and the fans are wanting John Gruden to go for this. It's 4th and very short, but he brought in the kicking team, and you can see again a missed tackle. Allstock catches the ball, but look at the missed tackles. Guys aren't wrapping up, and now they try to let one guy, Mike Green, do it. You've got 2 corners out there, R.W. McQuarters and Jerry Azuma. Those guys have got to wrap up.
I'm shocked that he wouldn't go for it here, because even if you don't make it, you leave a rookie with his first experience inside of his own 5-yard line. Gramatica bangs it through from 22 yards, and the Bucs add 3 more on after the fumbled kickoff to start the 3rd quarter. The Bucs lead 13-0 when we come back. Craig Krenzel will make his debut as the Bears quarterback here in Tampa, trailing by 13. Big sports day and evening on Fox. Tonight, sports' greatest moments continues on Fox with Game 2 of the World Series. The Red Sox looking to take a 2-0 lead over the Cardinals. All right, Gramatica kicking off to Azuma. He takes it at his 2-yard line. Jerry Azuma looking for that seam. Led the league in kickoff returns a year ago and gets it back to the 26-yard line. So now Craig Krenzel will make his debut for the Bears. He was hoping to make it with the first possession here of this quarter, but the fumbled kickoff by Jason McKee set Tampa Bay up, and they took it on down for a field goal.
And you know he's got to be one nervous guy. Those butterflies in his stomach are the size of birds right now. They said when they brought him in, they were going to have to cut this package down and make it easy for him.
He has Thomas Jones behind him. His first snap as a pro. And he's going to give it to Jones, and he asks for help. Jones gives it to him across the 30, the former Buccaneer, out to the 35-yard line. You know, Krenzel, when he was at Ohio State, he made his first start at Michigan Stadium as a sophomore, and he said he was more nervous in high school, JC. You believe that?
Hey, this guy's got ice water in his veins. He's got to be nervous today, but won a national championship at Ohio State, made some big plays for him, and really, that was his M.O. He was an accurate thrower that had a knack for making the big play at the right time, and he was also kind of a mobile guy, so all things that he needs to bring to this offense.
2nd and 1, he'll throw. Krenzel completes his first pass to Justin Gage, and he has the first down, and Derek Brooks has Gage as he crosses the 40, a pickup of 5.
Well, he looked pretty good on that throw. The play action pass, of course, is going to slow those backers down, but he looks good standing tall and following through with this throw. Of course, it's a nice short throw to Gage right here, but that's a good sign for your first pass to be complete, and hopefully what they're hoping is that he gains a little confidence, and then they can start trying to open this thing up for him.
That's just the Bears' 4th first down of this game. Krenzel gives it to Jones, escapes one, a flag is down. Jones dodges a tackler or 2 and gets to the 42-yard line. A pickup of 2, but we'll wait on the flag. Well, Krenzel's a guy that they say is cool under pressure. We're going to find out. Jeff Triplett, our referee, giving us the call here.
Illegal formation. Wide receiver is covering the tight end. That's a 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
The wide receiver needs to quit covering the tight end.
He does. That's at least 2 times they've gotten called for that penalty. So obviously the things that they're trying to do, they just don't understand right now. Terry Shea, the offensive coordinator, I know him from his days in Kansas City, and I know he's frustrated right now because those are the things you can deal with effort penalties, but when it's penalties through concentration or not lining up correctly, those are things that will kill you.
1st and 15 for the rookie. Everybody jumps.
74 the offense. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
Well, that's 2 in a row that are going to cost them 5 yards. A new quarterback, sometimes that causes a problem.
And now from 1st and 10, you're at 1st and 20 now with the quarterback that has just come into the ball game. And those are the penalties like I was talking about earlier. Those are the ones that kill you. That's just concentration. And right now, the Bears right now mentally are just killing themselves.
Now it's 1st and 20 for Krenzel. He gives it to Jones, gets a good block, cuts it back at the 35, and he's wrapped up and dropped by Spires as he got to the 38. Pickup of 8 for Thomas Jones, and it'll bring up 2nd and 12.
And the best thing for this offense especially Krenzel, is to get the running game going. They've had a couple pretty good runs early. See John Tate leading Thomas Jones up the field, and Jones is a guy that can make some things happen for him if they get him the ball and find him some room to run. He can do it. That's going to take a lot of pressure off of Krenzel.
Berrien in motion for the Bears. 2nd down and 12. The draw goes to Jones. He runs through a hole. Rondé Barber throws him down as he gets short of the 45. A pickup of 6 more. So now it'll be a manageable situation for Krenzel. Bring up 3rd and 6. Jones, the former Buccaneer, trying to get on track. Boy, what a welcome home present he gave the Bucs in the first play of scrimmage today. A 77-yard touchdown, but unfortunately it was called back.
Yeah, I don't know how much of a welcome home it was, as much as, hey, you should have signed me when I was a free agent last year.
Krenzel on 3rd and 6. Flips it over the rush to Jones. Breaks 1 tackle. He's short of the 1st down. Finally covered by Mario Edwards. Pickup of 2, and the Bears will have to punt it again.
And trying to set up the middle screen, a nice easy throw for Krenzel, but Tampa Bay was all over it. You can see just dropping back, trying to set up that screen. Derek Brooks does a good job of sniffing it out, coming up and making the tackle, but that's where you see the playbook is very limited for Craig Krenzel. They said once they brought him in, they weren't going to go back to Quinn. What they were going to do is really cut down their offensive playbook.
Maynard is on to punt, but before he can do so, whistles sound and flags fly.
22 of the offense. It's a 5-yard penalty. Still 4th down.
Another procedure penalty against the Bears. Boy, this has not been a very good possession from a penalty standpoint, and Lovie Smith just has to be frustrated beyond belief at his offensive unit. Without Rex Grossman, there's no continuity, and that's why they brought Tim Couch in for a tryout and a physical. And Lovie told us there'll be more on Couch later, but no definitive word yet.
Well, they wanted to try to see what they had right now on the roster. Obviously, they've just moved away from Quinn, giving Krenzel a chance, and they want to see what he can do.
Not a great punt. Tim Brown has to go down at the 25-yard line. Alfonso Marshall drops him there. 13-0. The Bucs lead the Bears in Tampa.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Ford. 6 all-new vehicles, each built for the road ahead. By Visa, proud sponsor of the NFL. Get ready for the game. By HP, services and technology help companies face, manage, and love change. And by AT&T Wireless. Experience GSM America. It's our best network ever.
It's a beautiful day in Tampa, but not for those 3 guys. That's the quarterback brain trust of the Bears. That's Chad Hutchinson on your left. In the middle is Jonathan Quinn, and on the right is Craig Krenzel. They're going over things, but it's not been easy against this Buck defense today.
It hasn't. So maybe all 3 of them together can get this thing figured out, because offensively they have not done very well today at all.
Pittman running hard again, crosses the 30. Green and Urlacher come up to make the stop. Urlacher has been involved in only 2 tackles today. He told us last night he wants to be a part of that great Bears middle linebacker tradition. Bill George, Dick Butkus, Mike Singletary.
And, you know, part of the problem is this year he's having to fight off more blockers. The guards are getting out on him. He doesn't have those big guys in front of him. Keith Traylor, Ted Washington, keeping those guards off of him.
2nd and 5, the toss to Pittman. Stiff arms one man, now runs into trouble, loses the ball, and I think the Bears are all over it. Boy, another scrum down there. I don't know how you sort this out, JC.
He just got to start pulling guys off the top of the pile.
And the Bears do have it.
The Bears have it. There's a flag on the play, but where they threw that flag, it looks like it's probably going to be on the Buccaneers.
Todd Johnson recovered.
78 of the offense. That penalty is declined. Chicago recovered the fumble. 1st down.
And it was holding against the Bucs. It was Todd Johnson that came up to get it. Pittman was in trouble from the start. Was able to stiff arm one man, but then he lost the ball.
And it's a toss outside. Look how the ball is just waving around. Switches it from his left hand to his right hand. He never really gets it into his body, and then the ball just pops out. Look, it's in his left hand now. Look at him switch it to his right hand. A no-no when you're running to the left. You always want to keep the ball in that outside arm, and he starts shifting it around, and next thing you know, it comes out of there.
Urlacher knocked it out. Johnson recovered it. First down at the 31. Thomas Jones. The Bears are going to try to pound away. Lovie Smith told us that they would do that. He recalled a game in 1996 when he was coaching here in Tampa, and the Bears just pounded the Bucs by running the ball. And he told us, you know, that was a day when I questioned myself, do I really want to be in coaching?
And he was hoping that today was going to be another day like that. It hasn't been so far, but that's their MO. They're a running team. They want to get the running game established, but today they really haven't been able to do that.
Pickup of 3. 5 possessions, 5 punts today for the Bears. Only 94 total yards. They've had 55 penalty yards, and they lost that 77-yard touchdown on a penalty. Krenzel down the middle, hits his tight end Lyman, and he gets to the 15-yard line. Or make that Clark, Desmond Clark. Boy, he's thankful to get a catch.
Yeah, he sure is. He only has 5 so far this year, at 43 last year, but they split him out and got him on a smaller defensive back. And he just comes in motion. He's going to run a quick slant on Dwight Smith, actually, the safety, and Krenzel puts the ball in a catchable place. That's something that these receivers aren't used to.
13-yard pickup and a Bear first down. Big possession for the Bears in this game. It's going to be Thomas Jones following the lead block, but he's snuffed out as he gets inside the 15. Jermaine Phillips with a nice tackle coming up from the secondary. Thomas Jones has been the bulk of this Bear offense, what little offense they've produced this season.
This season, he's really been all they've had. He's 44% of their total offense. He's catching the ball, he's running the ball, and he's earning every dime of his paycheck. And really, as they've been struggling, he's really the one constant that they've had to rely on.
He's been 32% of their offense today. Second down for the Bears. He's going to get it another time. Tampa just throwing 8 men in the box, and he's somehow avoiding the initial tackler, and Jermaine Phillips again brings him down inside the 10, but he got 6. He is nifty, isn't he?
Boy, he just left Ian Gold in his shoes. Ian Gold was untouched. Ian Gold's going to come off the end and watch watch Thomas Jones just shake him. Ian Gold's right there in the hole, and Jones just gives him a little dead leg and jumps back inside and then gets up the field.
3rd and 2 for the Bears. What do you think this play is going to be?
My money's going to be on Thomas Jones.
I think that's a good wager. There he goes. First down, short of the touchdown. Boy, this Bear, let's talk about this Bear offensive line, JC. They are opening holes when the Bucs know they're going to run.
Exactly, and they struggled in the first half, but they've come out the second half, and they're playing Chicago Bear football. They're running the ball, they're pounding it, and those guys up front are starting to open up holes. And Thomas Jones, he doesn't need a whole lot of running room. You have Brian Johnson at the fullback position being that lead blocker, and they're starting to establish the run.
1st and goal for the Bears. They want to get back in this game. It's going to be Jones to try to do it. Great move, touchdown. Boy, I'll tell you, he left Dwight Smith just hanging on to air, and he gets into the end zone after the Pittman fumble, and the Bears are back in this thing.
And I don't know if you credit Greg Krenzel coming into the ball game, maybe giving them a spark, maybe in the huddle, maybe guys are realizing we've got a new guy in and we've got to dig down a little deeper. But that was a great drive. They ran the ball. Thomas Jones did a great job. But like we talked about earlier, those guys up front really started to maintain their blocks. They dug down a little deeper, and they put together a good drive running the ball.
And he's a guy that gets stronger as the game goes on. Every week he's done that. And the Bears do make some nice adjustments offensively. Edinger on for the extra point. And with 3:45 left in the 3rd quarter, Chicago's back in it. The Bucs still lead it by 6 in Tampa.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Budweiser. Enjoy a cold, fresh Budweiser because fresh beer tastes better.
Back in Tampa, the Bears have scored to get back in this thing. Thomas Jones lying down, getting stretched out after rushing in a yard for that touchdown. There's the drive. It was mostly Thomas Jones, as you can see, but it was a key pass that Krenzel hit that gave them a first down. Edinger now steps into it as the Bears get a life here in the 3rd quarter. This is Torrey Cox. He leads the league in kickoff returns. He breaks the tackle but can't get across the 30, and that's where the Bucs will set up first down. 25-yard return. We'll come back to Tampa with the Bucs now holding on to a 6-point lead. And we've got doubleheader action coming today after our game. The Cowboys and the Packers, the Seahawks and the Cardinals, or the Saints and the Raiders. Presented in Fox Sports High Definition. Kevin Slayton, J.C. Pearson with you in Tampa where the Bucs lead 13-7. You know, Michael Pittman, who fumbled that last possession, is starting to get a reputation as a fumbler here in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, a couple big fumbles for him. You know, last week, we're going to take a look at here in a bit. Really cost him, and the one just today cost him also.
The Bucs set up with a first down on their 30-yard line. Their lead has been cut more than in half. Greasy with plenty of time flips it to Allstott, and he gets to the 32-yard line. Talked about Pittman becoming a fumbler all of a sudden, JC. It started last week in St. Louis on Monday night.
It did, and it really cost him. You can see here Adam Archuleta is just going to come up and take the ball away from Pittman, the fumble, and then he picks it up and he runs 93 yards for a touchdown. And then today he's waving the ball around, never really puts the ball away, fumbles it, and that leads directly to this Thomas Jones touchdown. There's nothing more demoralizing for an offense than to fumble the ball away, but then it really hurts your team when it leads directly to touchdowns for the opposition.
Allstott goes nowhere. He's smothered. Green comes up with the ball, and there's no whistle. Let's wait and see. I think they're going to give it to the Bears. They are. Allstott in there fumbling the ball. He's still down on the ground. He was picked up and dropped by 3 different guys. And the Bears come away. Now there's a flag. I don't know what that's all about. But Allstott's holding his right knee.
Wow, you talk about a change in momentum from one fumble that leads to a touchdown to the very next time they get the ball. Allstott fumbles the ball. He's still down there in a lot of pain. Then I think on top of that, they're going to get Tampa for an unsportsmanlike conduct.
Fumble was ruled on the play. Recovered by Chicago. After the play is over, unsportsmanlike conduct. Taunting on Chicago. That's a 15-yard penalty. It'll be 1st and 10 after the enforcement.
Wow, they got the unsportsmanlike on Chicago. I didn't even see a Bear player around the pile.
Here's the fumble.
And Allstott has got the ball there. It looks like they just pull it out. It's hard to see right there, but the ball's on the ground. Mike Green comes up with it. Get another look here. And I don't know if his knee gave out and just the pain from getting twisted up, and he just lets the ball go right there. You see that right knee gets twisted up, and the pain from that looks like he just turned the ball loose.
He's still down. Hillenmeyer is the one who made the initial hit.
And watch his legs. Watch his right knee. Looks like it gets twisted underneath Hillenmeyer right there, and that's where the ball comes out. That doesn't look good for Allstott, but that ball comes out, and Green picks it up, and he can't put any weight on it right now as they carry him off the field.
You don't really care about the ball when your knees get twisted, do you?
When you have that kind of pain, you just scream, and like you said, you don't really care about the ball. You're just trying to get that knee from being pinned up under you, and unfortunately the ball was out. But
how about the Bears? They get this golden opportunity, JC, and then foolishly, with a lack of discipline, get a 15-yard penalty.
And that comes from lack of experience. They are the youngest team in the National Football League. They've got a lot of young players, and they're the least experienced. They only average 3.2 years per player on this team, so you've got a lot of young guys, and we saw it earlier with Tommy Harris, and they just have to control their emotions. They've got to remain poised, but like you said, that's a huge unsportsmanlike conduct penalty.
Thomas Jones is in there. He has a quad bruise, but he's going to go ahead and carry the mail for Craig Krenzel. They scored after they recovered the last fumble. He's going to throw it on first down off play action. Has time. The ball sails on him. It was intended for Bobby Way. There's a flag down. Kelly was defending. Let's see if they got him for the interference.
They try to come right out the gate, and that's what a lot of teams do after a turnover. That very next play, they try to.
Prior to the pass. illegal contact, number 23 of the defense. That's a 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Well, they get Jermaine Phillips for it.
They got Phillips for illegal contact down the field, and he's saying, hey, I didn't even touch anybody. But you can see here's the 5-yard line. You can't touch the receivers after that. Bobby Wade's going to be coming across the field right there. And prior to that, it looks like it was either Jermaine Phillips or Brian Kelly that got a hand on him.
First down Bears as they get 5 yards of that unsportsmanlike conduct penalty back. And now they'll run it with Jones, and this time the Bucs are waiting. Quarles, whom we haven't heard from very often today, makes the tackle. All right, let's go right now to JB in the Fox Network Center for another NFL update.
Hey, Kevin, and a rookie, Kevin Jones out of Virginia Tech, capping a 5-play, 68-yard drive with his first career touchdown. He had 3 carries for 44 yards on the drive. Lions not giving up, 14-10 over the Giants. Back to Kevin and JC.
All right, JB. Well, that'd be a big win for the Lions and a tough loss after a bye week for the Giants. 2nd and 10 for the Bears. Krenzel rolling out. He has room if he wants to run. He elects to throw, nearly picked off. Oh, that was nearly a costly error. Brian Kelly got his hand on it.
Just a bad throw by Krenzel, just inexperienced. He's got a lot of room in front of him to just pull the ball down and run. But he forces the ball into coverage, and he's very lucky that that ball wasn't picked off. They run the boot, and look at the room he's got to run out here. Just run it. He's got one blocker ahead of him. Brian Johnson turned the ball up. Instead, he tries to force the ball down the field to Terrell, who's got no chance, and he's lucky that Brian Kelly didn't pick that ball off.
3rd and 10, 3 receivers split wide, including Desmond Clark, the tight end. See if the Bucs blitz here. Here they come. Krenzel's going nowhere. Quarles has him. Well, that was pretty obvious they were going to blitz on the young rookie. And they came after him, and they got him.
They brought Quarles on one side. Greg Spires got a great jump off the other side, and Krenzel just had no chance. Before he has a chance to get back and set up, they're all over him. Spires is going to come from the right. You can see him right there. Quarles comes also. They brought Derek Brooks, so they just brought the house after Krenzel, and he just had no time to look anywhere.
It was a jailbreak, and Quarles picks up his 2nd sack. Maynard now. A high spiral. Tim Brown fair catches it at the 8-yard line, and that's where the Bucs, after a 31-yard punt, will put it in play, leading 13-7. So the Bears unable to do anything with that fumble recovery by Allstott, and they still trail by 6. Hey, tonight, sports' greatest moments continue on Fox. Game 2 of the World Series. The Red Sox trying to take a 2-games-to-none lead over the Cardinals, and the Cardinals will try to even it up before they head back to St. Louis. The drama continues tonight at 7:30 Eastern Time, 4:30 Pacific here on Fox.
And Kevin, we talked about how the penalties by the Bears all game have shot them in the foot, and you made a great point. They get a fumble recovery, they get an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty. That pushes them back 15 yards. They're not able to get anything going. They've got a punt. If they don't get that penalty, they're at least in field goal range.
Would have had a good opportunity for Edinger. Pittman trying the right side, but finds little running room for the 3rd time today. The Bucs starting inside their 10. The last 2 times they drove 93 yards, got a field goal, got a touchdown. You know, we can go back to the opening kickoff of the 2nd half. The Bears fumbled, the Bucs got it, JC. They drove down, had 4th and 1, and Krenzel was going to come in as the quarterback. The Bucs elected to go for a field goal instead of the first down, and they would have kept Krenzel inside his 5, and now they're only 6 ahead because of it. 2nd down for the Bucs. Ryan Greasy to the air. Easy pass to Heller, but a short gain across the 10 gets him out to the 12-yard line.
And this is how the Bears defense has played all year long. They will give up a lot of yards in the first half. The second half, they seem to tighten up, play much better, and really keep the team in the game. They're right now only down by 6 points, and if you look at the stats, you would think that they'd probably be out of this ball game, but they've just been able to hang in there and keep Tampa Bay from scoring a lot of points.
The Buccaneers are going to face 3rd and 6 from their own 12. That's the end of the 3rd quarter. The Bucs lead it 13-7 over the Bears. Fox NFL Sunday will continue after a word from your local Fox stations.
I'm Martin Gramatica. You're watching Fox 13, home of the Bucs on Fox.
Back in Tampa, John Gruden's not used to having only one win at this stage of the season. They head into the bye week next week. He's 5-1 going into bye weeks, so pretty effective. Kevin Slayton, J.C. Pearson with you at 13-7. Tampa Bay lead, but they face 3rd and 6 from their own 12. Huge series here for the defense of the Bears.
It is, Kevin. When you talk about only having one win like both of these teams have right now, you can look back at the games they've lost, and they've been in every ball game really except for one. And they've only lost that. Both of these teams have lost that game by 10 points. But other than that, they've been close, and they feel like both teams feel like they should have at least 2 more wins.
Bears come with a blitz. It's intercepted by McQuarters. A great catch by him. A flag comes in. He was trying to cover Clayton. I don't know what the flag's going to be, but that's going to be a huge call.
Well, it's going to go against the Bears. Obviously, R.W. McQuarters out there. Looks like he got to Michael Clayton right before the ball got there, and McQuarters, he doesn't believe it. They call pass interference on him.
Wow.
And it looks
what
like
a huge call.
It is. It looks like Clayton may have slipped, actually, instead of R.W. McQuarters pushing him down. But from the referee standpoint, it looks like he made some contact, and they get him for the pass interference.
Boy, it's all uphill for Lovie Smith, isn't it? I mean, they can't catch a break. McQuarters really hung with it, able to make the interception, but the call on 3rd down goes against the Bears, and it gives the Bucs a 1st down at their own 20. Pittman hit before he could get out of the backfield. Now Urlacher is fired up. He's in the backfield making the tackle for the loss. Maybe a short, or maybe get back to the line of scrimmage, but no gain on the play.
And this is the last play. You see R.W. McQuarters right here. They got him for pass interference. He initiated that contact within the 5-yard area. It looks like down the field to the referees that he maintained that contact, and that's what they got him for.
Could the argument be made that Clayton initiated the contact there?
Well, sometimes they will call that offensive pass interference, but this is an offensive game. They want to see scoring. They want to see the ball caught, so the defender's never going to get the benefit of the doubt.
Greasy completes it to Clayton, who makes a catch in traffic and has a 1st down at the 33. Mike Green brings him down. Tampa Bay hanging on to a 6-point lead. Last week, it was turnovers that cost them in St. Louis. They outplayed the Rams on Monday night, but 4 turnovers cost them the game.
It sure did, and 2 missed field goals. So when you put all those things together, of course, you're not going to win the ball game, but still, they only lose by 7 points.
And some blown coverages hurt them also defensively. And today, the red zone has hurt them. They haven't been able to score. They have the 1 touchdown. Pittman in trouble. The Bears defense after that pass interference call is really coming strong now. Michael Haynes in there. Let's go back to JB now at the Fox Studio Center for another NFL game break.
Kevin and JC, Cleveland looking to try and become the first team to beat Philadelphia. Take a look. Garcia at the tight end, Steve Hyden. Doesn't need much arm strength for a short one like that. It turns out to be a 21-yarder. Cleveland up 24-21. 4 minutes left in the 3rd. Back to Kevin and JC.
All right, JB, that would be a major upset.
Yeah, Hyde just high-stepping into the end zone. Nobody around him at all.
Still the 3rd quarter.
Looked like a drum major out there.
Greasy with all day to throw. Completes it. A great catch by Clayton in traffic. Azuma went for the interception. Nearly had it. He gambled and he had some help behind him. We'll see where they spot it. Clayton might be short of the 1st down. I think he is.
But he does a good job catching the ball. They just have a bunch. One guy's going to go out, one guy's going to go up, and the other guy's going to come back in. Clayton just runs that stop route. Azuma almost intercepts this ball, but Clayton, great job of just using his hands, catches the ball, and then immediately tries to get up the field for a 1st down. A little bit short, but he puts him in a 3rd and short situation.
6 catches now for Clayton for 62 yards. Alstott hasn't returned since that knee injury when he fumbled. Here's Pittman, has the 1st down and then some into Bears territory before he's wrestled down by Worrell. Pittman running hard.
And you better believe he's got 2 hands on that ball now, especially once he gets in traffic. But again, Brian Urlacher comes through the gap and misses the tackle. You can see Urlacher's going to jump up through the gap right there. and is not able to get Pittman down.
But an offside call against the Bucs.
5-yard penalty, still third down.
And it'll remain third down. So Pittman had picked up 8 and a first down, and now the penalty hurts the Bucs. It'll be 3rd and 6. John Gruden had so many penalties against his team a year ago. And in fact, Kenyatta Walker lost the starting job because he led them with 17 penalties last year. And Gruden just felt that's unacceptable. He's back starting at right tackle now. But they brought Todd Stussy in to push him. And Stussy has done that, the Pro Bowler. Walker has played better at that right tackle spot. The blitz coming. He gets rid of it. It's knocked away from Dilger. No flags. Mike Green makes a clean play. It would have been short of the first down anyway. And now the Bucs will have to punt it away to the Bears.
And in good coverage, they just blitz Brian Griese. They make him get rid of the ball quicker. You're going to see Urlacher coming from one side. You're going to see Marcus Reese, the other backer, coming. They just make Griese get rid of the ball, but good coverage also by Mike Green on Dilger. Even if he caught that ball, he was going to be short of the first down.
Bidwell with a high spiral. McQuarters comes over for a fair catch and takes it at his 22-yard line. So that's where the Bears with 11-19 will put it in play, trailing the Buccaneers by 6 here in Tampa.
Fox NFL Sundays brought to you by Nissan and your Nissan dealer. By AmeriQuest Mortgage, the company that knows you are more. By America Online. Want a better internet? You belong at America Online. And by Wendy's Kids Meals, now with delicious new choices.
Hope that boat doesn't make a sudden stop.
Yeah, dog overboard, huh?
13-7, the Bucs lead here in the fourth quarter. Kevin Slayton, J.C. Pearson with you. The Bucs punting to the Bears, and Craig Krenzel, who's taken over to start the second half for Jonathan Quinn, has driven the Bears to their only touchdown. With all the things that have gone against the Bears today, they're only down by 6. The A-train in there carrying the balls. They fake the reverse, and he gets across the 25. Pickup of 4. The Bucs have allowed only 19 points in the fourth quarter this entire season, so it's an uphill battle for the Bears.
It really is. And one thing that they're doing now is they're trying to establish the run. They did it that last series when they got into the end zone. It takes a lot of pressure off of Krenzel also, but it also helps him because in the play action pass, he's going to have more time. Tampa Bay knew that they were going to try to play smash mouth football. They're doing it now.
2nd and 6. They have a longer field this possession than they did after they recovered the fumble. Krenzel throws it high. It's intercepted by Barber. Barber has a sideline. He is chased down and knocked out of bounds. Rondé Barber. Well, Krenzel threw it high, and when you do that, it gets tipped. Brian Johnson was the intended receiver.
Well, I don't know what they coach their quarterbacks to do, but they all have the same problem. Right now, they're throwing the ball high. They're rushing themselves, and with Krenzel, of course, being a young guy, you can expect that. But again, just lets the ball get away from him. He just throws that too hard. Johnson has no chance to catch it. It bounces right to Rondé Barber. And now that's a huge turnover for the Bucs. But you can see, just throws the ball too hard and too high for Brian Johnson to catch.
Well, you know that Rondé Barber's going to catch some heat in the locker room. Look who runs him down, Kasim Mitchell. Rondé smelled his 3rd touchdown of the season, which of course would keep him in the lead as the leading scorer for the Bucs. Golden opportunity here at the 12-yard line. Michael Pittman straight up the middle. Urlacher drops him as he gets to the 7-yard line. Pickup of 4. I mentioned Rondé Barber having a nose for the goal line, and he has done that twice this year. And to be their leading scorer, I mentioned that to him the other day, and he said, you know, I want my touchdowns to be contributing touchdowns.
Yeah.
I don't want to lead the team in scoring.
Exactly, and they both come off of fumble returns, just right spot at the right time, and scoops them up and takes him to the end zone. And he's had a knack for doing that. He almost took the interception that he just got to the end zone also.
2nd and 6 from the 7 after Pittman picked up 4. Emil Cook, the fullback, goes in motion. Here's Pittman running for the goal line, and he gets down near the 2. Worrell there, along with Todd Johnson to bring him down. He's short of the first down. A pickup of 5. He goes over the 100-yard mark with 103 yards now, his 5th career 100-yard rushing game, but his 1st this season. That'll please John Gruden.
And he's running hard, running with a lot of authority, getting his pads down. We've seen him in the open field to make some good plays using his quickness and his speed, but I think he's a little underrated with how strong he actually runs it. We saw in that last play he can put his pads down and really get those tough yards, and it's 3rd and short right now. They can get a first down here, but what they're looking for is trying to get this ball in the end zone.
And they call timeout. They don't have Allstott, so their normal short yardage offense isn't going to be there. We're going to take a break as well. 6-point Buck lead. Well, the Bucks lead and they're inside the Bear 5, but some bad news. Let's go down to Chip Carter.
Thanks a lot. It looks like Mike Allstott has a torn ACL. That's what the early x-rays are indicating. He'll get an MRI tomorrow to confirm it, but right now, not good news. Looks like a torn ACL in his right knee for Mike Allstott.
All right, Chip, thanks. It's Michael Pittman into the end zone in the short yardage situation. So Pittman gets his 2nd touchdown of the day, and the Bucks in command of this game now in the 4th quarter with 8:52 remaining.
Just power football, 3rd and goal, red zone, and that's what they had to do. They had to score touchdowns in the red zone. They haven't been doing that. They've gotten 2 field goals, and that's what's kept the Bears in the game, but this time they get in the red zone. They're able to run it in for a touchdown.
Short yardage situation normally would have been Allstott's baby, but it was Pittman who took it in, and he redeems himself for the fumble. The Bucks call a timeout on an extra point.
Well, they're going to go for 2. They've got 19 now. They want to go for 2 and try to get it to a 2-score game.
Well, Pittman has had himself quite a day. If you took the fumble away, it would have been a perfect day. He caught a pass for 46 yards earlier from Brian Griese, and he has run hard and run downfield and downhill all day long. 105 yards rushing, including this 3-yard touchdown a moment ago. And he also has 55 yards receiving. It's been a big day for the Bucks back.
It sure has, and he just follows Heller, the tight end, who's doing that wham block. He lines up outside and just comes down and whams on the nose and gives Pittman some room inside to get it into the end zone. But like you said, normally that guy is going to be Allstott, but with that torn ACL, I mean, that's going to be a big blow. Allstott means so much to this ball club. Not just running the ball, but just blocking, catching. He's going to be a big loss.
Injuries have killed the Bucks this year. Certainly the receiver spot. 160 total yards for Pittman. The Bears as an offense have 124. It shows you his dominance today. Griese rolling out, being chased by Haynes, throws it up for grab. It was almost caught, but it's incomplete. That was almost a sensational catch in the end zone, but the ball, Heller grabbed it after it hit the ground. So the Bucks touchdown gives them a 19-7 lead with 8:52 remaining. The 3-yard touchdown run by Pittman, only the 2nd rushing TD by the Bucks all year. Makes John Gruden happy, but it just continues to frustrate Lovie Smith. His young team has made some mistakes today.
They really have, and they've shown their inexperience just with all the penalties they had, and not just the penalties, but the type of penalties that they've had, and at the most inopportune times.
Gramatica with another low driving kick. They don't want Azuma getting a full speed ahead, and he has to take it short and get to the 18-yard line. A 13-yard return. We're in Tampa, and we're going to come back. 8:44 remaining. It's a beautiful day in Tampa. Well, there's some crazy characters in the stands today. I don't know if being called Chucky's a compliment. 19-7, the Bucks lead it here in the 4th quarter. The Bears come out. Craig Krenzel. Well, if adversity brings character to a man, Bears quarterbacks have all the character they need. Krenzel hands it off to the A train, and he finds the running room very, very stingy. Darby there to bring him down. Well, Krenzel continuing the quarterback tradition of the Bears this season, throwing high the last time they had.
And it's not a good tradition to have. Again, you see the ball just goes too high. It's intercepted, and this leads right to a Michael Pittman touchdown here. And Michael Pittman just continuing to just pound the ball inside, finally gets it to the end zone. But again, it was all set up because of the interception that Krenzel threw.
That last tackler, as he went into the end zone, tried to hit him in that 19.5-inch bicep. That won't work. Krenzel 2nd and 12. Here comes the rush. Simeon Rice has him. Second sack today for Rice. That's his 28th multi-sack game of his career, and it's a loss of 7.
And they're just racing off the edge right now. You can see Simeon Rice. He's having fun right now. He's just going to race around Mitchell. He's been doing it all day. Mitchell gets caught inside, not knowing who to block. And you can't do that with a guy like Simeon Rice. All he needs is to get you to turn your shoulders, and he's going to be right by you. And he just is all over Krenzel before he has a chance to do anything.
4 sacks today for the Bucs. Monty Kiffin told us they need more sacks. Krenzel rolls out, delivers the ball deep for Wade, but overshoots him by a mile. And the Bears will have to punt it away.
And there's that tradition you're talking about again, Kevin. He overthrows the receiver, Bobby Wade, but they try to roll him out, buy him some more time, move the pocket to see if he can find a guy downfield. And looked like he had Bobby Wade for a second, but the ball just sailed on him also.
And now Maynard will have to punt from his own end zone. It was 7:22 to go, and the Bears down 12. It's not a bright future for this game. But things can happen in a hurry. They've had opportunities, and that's the frustrating part. Brown gathers in his 45-yard line. Gets near midfield and into Bear territory before he's brought down. You know, they have had 78 penalty yards. Penalties have negated a 77-yard touchdown and an interception. Coming up next right here on Fox, a doubleheader, the Cowboys and the Packers, the Seahawks and the Cardinals, or the Saints against the Raiders, presented in Fox Sports High Definition. Cowboys have lost 2 in a row, and Green Bay started out at home 0-3. Something's got to give in that one.
Something's got to give, but who would have thought that Brett Favre would be 0-3 at Lambeau Field?
That doesn't happen. They're hoping it's below 30 degrees today. I don't think it's going to be, though. First down for the Bucs. Michael Pittman's having a huge day, and it continues as he runs over a tackler in the secondary. Briggs hit him first. He gets to the 46 of the Bears. A pickup of 3 more.
And this Bears run defense has not been real good again today. They really struggled all season long. Again, they said that they'll give up a lot of yards as long as they can keep points off the board. But like I mentioned earlier in the game, the problem with letting a team run on you is that the clock is going to continue to run. They're going to control the time of possession. And there's 6 minutes and 30 seconds left in this ball game. They've got to get the ball back.
Well, normally if you win the turnover battle, you win the game. The Bears won the turnover battle until the interception, and now it's even. But they've never had the lead. Pittman again just trying to eat up chunks of yardage. The Bucs have fumbled twice. On the second one, they lost Mike Allstott. He injured his knee, and the report that we had from the sidelines from Chip Carter is a torn ACL.
Michael Pittman has really been able to get going today. He's coming off the sideline now. It's 3rd and 4, but he's been the workhorse for him. He's run the ball inside with power. He's taken it outside with speed. Those last 2 possessions were tough yards that he got, but he put him in a 3rd and short situation.
Urlacher looking to make a play here. He was saying he's not making enough plays. Here comes Clayton on the reverse in his own backfield, and he's tracked down on a nice play by Jerry Azuma. Bright spot for the Bears defense is that they have Azuma back, making his first start today.
And Azuma made a good play. It looked like Clayton was going to have some room to get around the corner, but he never got there. They're just going to run the reverse to Clayton right here, and you'll see Azuma. He just runs through the inside, and the lineman just never had a chance to get him because he's so fast. Matt Stithcomb just couldn't get to him right there. Azuma was able to run right by him and make a big tackle. If he doesn't make that tackle, Michael Clayton probably gets a first down.
McQuarters needs a big return from Bidwell here off the punt. McQuarters had a 35-yard return a week ago. Krenzel needs some help, but he's probably not going to get it. Fair catch. He lets it go, and it goes into the end zone. Well, the rule of thumb is you put your heels on the 10-yard line, and anything that goes past you, you let go, right? That's the way that works. 4:51 remaining in this game. The Bucs lead it by 12. And even though they've had a dominance today, if the Bears could get a big play, they're right back in it. Hey, tonight, sports' greatest moments continues on Fox. Game 2 of the World Series. Red Sox try to go up 2-0. Cardinals try to even it up before they head back home. The drama continues tonight, 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific here on Fox. I wonder if a nor'easter is going to be blowing through Fenway Park tonight like it was last night. It isn't here. It's about 85 degrees here in sunny Tampa. Craig Krenzel began his quarterbacking career here in the second half. And it hasn't been a lot of fun. He completes it to Clark, and he gets out of bounds at the 24-yard line. Last night was game 1 of the World Series, and it was won, of course, by the Red Sox. It was not a pretty game. It was a very sloppy game, 11-9. David Ortiz had the big blow for the Red Sox early, a 3-run homer. Woody Williams pitching for the Cardinals had a nightmare start to his World Series career. How about Ramirez here? I'm shocked he didn't tear his knee up on that play. He made 2 errors that inning, and the Red Sox ended up winning on the home run by Bellhorn. Thomas Jones catching the quick flare pass from Krenzel. Gets about 3. And it'll bring him 3rd down.
And talking about the Red Sox and coming back from 0-3 against the Yankees and doing something that hasn't been done before. Greg Spires, a guy that is a big Red Sox fan, he says, hey, if they can do it, we can turn our team around too and hopefully make something out of this season.
Krenzel dropped the snap in the shotgun, then ran, but he slid a little too early. But they say he made it anyway. 1st down at the 31. Clock running, coming up on 4 minutes left. Krenzel would love to rally these Bears. He has time, looks for receivers, hits Clark again. Clark to the 46 as Kelly wraps him up, and Desmond Clark's getting a lot of work. He had only a handful of receptions coming into this game, but he's been busy since Krenzel took over.
And that was an impressive play by Krenzel. He had some pressure early and looked like he was going to try to run, but instead he kept his eyes down the field and found Clark.
14 yards that time. Now he escapes a tackler, gets hit as he throws, and then throws it away. McFarland was putting pressure on him. The Bucs are just pinning their ears back now. 3:31 left in this one. Let's head back to the studio and JB for a Fox update.
Hey, it's a dogfight in Cleveland, fellas. Take a look here. Donovan McNabb helping to put the Eagles back in front. Little shovel pass there to L.J. Smith. Hey, Kevin and J.C., that's also called the Utah pass. 28-24 Eagles on top. 13-13 left in regulation. Back to Kevin and J.C.
JB giving us some knowledge there.
Giving us some info. Whatever they call it, it works.
We haven't seen the Utah pass here today. But we've seen some bad ones. Great catch by Berrien as he goes up to make the grab. Krenzel under heavy pressure from Quarles, who was blitzing. Nonetheless, got it away and found Berrien, his first catch of the day.
Well, Krenzel, he is giving these guys a spark. Using his legs, was under a lot of pressure by Quarles and Rondé Barber that time, but still finds Berrien on the slant.
15 yards. Krenzel now tosses it out to Jones. He's surrounded, but gets away. If he can get a block, this could be a big gainer. He cuts it back upfield and gets inside the 35, short of the 1st down.
Good effort by Thomas Jones. Looks like he stopped at first with 3 Bucs around him, and he just reverses field, changes directions, and almost gets out the other side.
Well, the Bucs remember him from last year when he played with them, but he never did this in practice.
Yeah, look, but the guy that really makes the stop, watch Rondé Barber, number 20. He jumps outside and makes Thomas Jones have to jump back inside to the pursuit. If Jones gets outside of Barber, he could still be running.
Barber on the blitz. Krenzel lets it go, just tries to get rid of it. So Rondé Barber doing a little bit of everything. Forces the play inside, blitzes on the next one, had an interception earlier, has been all over making tackles. He's the veteran of this Bucs defensive unit. He says they're not quite as good as their Super Bowl defense, but they are more athletic, he thinks.
And Craig Krenzel, as I said earlier, I think he's come in and give this offense a spark. They definitely didn't move the ball like this in the first half, and for a young guy coming in late in the ball game, they need 2 scores. He's made a couple pretty good throws.
3rd and 3, gets hit as he throws downfield, was intending it for Terrell. It was Simeon Rice again applying the pressure, going for his 3rd sack. Now it'll be 4th and 3.
And that's really been the problem. Simeon Rice is not being blocked by Kasim Mitchell over there on the left side of that offensive line, and he's been able to get pressure on Krenzel this entire second half.
Well, you know, it's interesting because we were told yesterday by Terry Shea that Mitchell gets worse as the game goes on, and he is.
Well, normally they try to put a tight end over there to help him out, at least chip on Simeon, but they haven't done that yet, and you can see when they don't do that, Mitchell really struggles moving his feet.
Well, Krenzel hasn't looked nervous, JC. He looks like he is a cool customer under pressure, even when Simeon Rice is breathing down your neck. And if you can stay cool then, and Simeon's putting on a show for Chicago hometown fans, you're a pretty cool customer when he's coming after you.
Yeah, he's made a couple good throws. He's done a good job using his feet also. He's been under pressure really this entire second half, but he's avoided the pressure, made a good throw to Berrien on the slant, made a good throw stepping up in the pocket to Desmond Clark. And normally a young guy, especially in his first game, when he feels some pressure, he wants to pull the ball down and run. But instead of running, Krenzel keeps his eyes up and looking downfield and tries to find a receiver.
Did you take any of the courses in college that he took? Molecular genetics was his major. He wants to be a doctor. I didn't take any. He'll throw it here. On fourth down, you know what? He probably could have run for the first down, but he tried to complete a pass and make something happen in the air. And as a result, the Bucs will take over with 2:06 remaining.
And you know, that'll come with experience and confidence. He'll feel comfortable pulling the ball down and running, knowing where the first down marker is. Right now, all he knows is they call a pass play, and he's got to try to throw the ball to somebody. And instead of running at that time for a first down, he's looking around, tries to make a throw across his body, and of course doesn't get that completed.
Lovie Smith in his first season as a head coach has been beset by injuries, the most important of which was to his quarterback, Rex Grossman, and they have struggled at that position, but Krenzel's given them a life here today. Michael Pittman in there, and I would imagine you're going to get a steady dose of him having his most productive day today, over 100 yards for the first time this season.
Timeout. Tampa Bay.
Well, the
Their
Bucs
third and final.
used their final timeout. I don't know who called it. Wasn't Greasy.
Especially with 2:06 left. You know you're going to get the 2-minute warning after the play.
And it's not as though they need one. We've got a doubleheader for you on Fox today. 3 different choices for you depending on where you are. The Cowboys and the Packers, the Seahawks and the Cardinals, or the Saints and the Raiders. Presented in Fox Sports High Definition. That's after we're done here in Tampa. How about Brett Favre and Keyshawn Johnson? Keyshawn needs to make some big plays for the Cowboys. They've lost their last 2. But as we talked about earlier, the Packers 0-3 in Lambeau this season. And everybody along our network watching this Bucs-Bears game will get to see that doubleheader game between the Packers and the Cowboys. Bill Parcells hadn't been very happy down in Dallas. There goes Pittman. He runs into a wall on the right side. Everybody trying to grab the ball as we come to the 2-minute warning here in Tampa. The Bucs have been quietly efficient on offense today. They've gotten a couple of the big runs that John Gruden wanted, and they lead by 12. Two minutes left here in Tampa. Kevin Slayton, J.C. Pearson with you. 19-7, the Bucs lead it. They have led all day. If you joined us late, Craig Krenzel took over at quarterback for the Bears starting the second half in relief of Jonathan Quinn. And Lovie Smith told us yesterday if he makes a change, he's not going to go back.
Yeah, you can't go back. Once you make that move, you've got to stick with it because it sends a mixed signal to your team. What you got to do is rally around the guy that you have in there, and to the players, it really doesn't matter. It's just the quarterback position. Whoever's in there is expected to perform and play well, and they can't have guys pointing fingers at this point.
And they can't have another back hurt for the Bucs. Tommy Harris brought down Pittman, and it didn't look good from the tackle. His knee buckled under him. Tommy Harris, the rookie, they lost Allstott earlier on a similar looking play, an ugly looking play where his knee buckled. And this time Harris got penetration, and watch the knee of Michael Pittman here.
There's Harris right there on that left knee and just gets it twisted up. And like you said, that doesn't look good either. That's an ugly way to get twisted up. Again, you can take a look at that left knee right there. The ankle gets trapped under him. Then the knee just twists. And like you said, Mike Allstott, very similar situation earlier, got hurt and tore his ACL according to the reports.
This is what happened earlier with Allstott. It was Hillenmeyer that brought him down, and he fumbled on the play.
He did, and this is his right ACL. Just gets caught underneath him. You can see it just gets twisted and bent right there. You never like to see that happen, especially a guy rolling around in pain. You hope for the best, but the good thing about this situation now on the field is that Michael Pittman is up, and he's walking off the field under his own power.
All right, let's go back to Los Angeles and another NFL update from JB at the Fox Studio Center.
Kevin and JC, this probably wraps it up right here for Detroit. Joey Harrington handing off to Artos Penner, 8 yards to pay dirt, 28-13. Detroit, 1:46 left, looking for their third road win of the season. Back to Kevin Slayton and JC Pearson.
All right, JB, thanks a lot. Boy, Detroit, Steve Mariucci, what a turnaround. How many games they had gone without a win on the road, and that'd be their third of the season and move them to 4-2.
They're playing well right now, and they lost Charles Rogers early in the year, one of their big play wide receivers. Roy Williams was a little banged up today. We saw him catch a touchdown earlier, but Steve Mariucci doing a great job getting those guys ready to play.
Pittman goes out with 108 yards rushing and a touchdown. He caught 2 passes for 55 yards, including a 46-yarder earlier in the game. 3rd and 14 now for the Bucs as they try to run this clock out, which has 1:55 remaining, and they're running out of backs. Jamel White will go in there to replace Pittman. But if Pittman's injury is serious, they're going to be in serious trouble. He was shaken up earlier after a long run from scrimmage when he collided with Ian Scott, but he was able to come back in and still run productively. But this time that knee, he's sitting on the bench by himself, so it at least doesn't look as bad as Allstott, who was carted off.
Like you said, if they lose both Allstott and Pittman in one game, that's going to be a huge blow for them. Pittman ran well all day today. Allstott was getting going. They finally started to get their running game going. Now they possibly could lose their top 2 running backs.
1:55 remaining. If time permitting, we'll send you to bonus coverage of the Philadelphia-Cleveland game, depending on how this one ends. Jamel White gets the carry. He does not get the first down, and they'll have to punt it away. So hopefully we can send you to that bonus coverage of the Philadelphia game. There you see the score, 31-24. The Eagles have had to come back. Cleveland had taken the lead, 24-21. I told you it was too early to high step. That was in the 3rd quarter.
That was in the 3rd quarter. He got in, and Philadelphia, one of the teams that people think are going to make it all the way to the Super Bowl. Terrell Owens, they didn't know how he was going to come in and fit in, but so far he's worked out well for him, Kev.
Yeah, he really has, and they're winning. The question would be, what happens if they start to lose a few?
Losing, exactly.
And he's not getting the ball. Bidwell will come on to punt it away for the Bucs. McQuarters is deep. He had an interception nullified by a penalty. The Bears on the first play of this game had a 77-yard touchdown pass from Quinn to Thomas Jones, nullified by a penalty. Mistakes of a young team. We talked about it earlier. The youngest team in the NFL, not only in age, but in experience. They only have 2 players that are 30 or over, and one of them is the punter. McQuarters drifts back at his own 17. When they need a big return, it's not going to happen. Corey Ivy did a great job of standing him up and bringing him down. Only a 3-yard return after a 49-yard punt from Bidwell. Well, the Bucs have Halloween weekend off, and the rest of the schedule is pretty favorable for them.
It really is. When you look at their schedule, they really right now only have 2 teams really with the winning record. They have a chance to turn this thing around, and like I was saying earlier, Greg Spires, he said, hey, if the Red Sox can do what they did against the Yankees, we can definitely turn this thing around. And they to a man on this team have a great attitude and really feel like they can turn this season around.
John Gruden was telling us we had 4 of our first 6 on the road. We had the Joe Gibbs game. We had the Chucky reunion game in Oakland. We had 14 injuries. I mean, it's been tough for them. They had 4 hurricanes. I mean, they've had a lot of adversity here in Tampa, but they have battled through to what they look like here will be their 2nd win, and perhaps the turnaround beginning. The key will be the health of Michael Pittman. 2nd and 4 for the Bears. Craig Krenzel, the rookie quarterback from Ohio State, making his debut today, and he's had some good moments. Throws down the middle. That's not one of them. It was nearly picked off by White, and if he hadn't been a defensive lineman, he probably would have picked it off.
He probably would have. But Krenzel again showing some of his youth and inexperience. Again, just eyeing one receiver. You can see he's looking at one guy, so they're reading his eyes, and you can see almost throws that interception. Like you said, if he wasn't a defensive lineman, White probably would have been able to make that interception.
Rondé Barber behind him was saying, let it go, I had it. 3rd and 4. Simeon Rice gets held. Krenzel lost it for Berrien, who makes the catch, but he's out of bounds. Simeon Rice is just owning Kasim Mitchell on that left side of the Bears offensive line.
And a strange play call. It's 3rd and 4. They need 4 yards to get a first down, but they run deep routes. All the receivers are running down the field, so they really give Krenzel no option except to throw it up to a guy instead of dropping it off for a first down and then continuing from that point.
White has had a big game for the Bucs. He's one of the guys that has pushed Spires, and Spires acknowledged that to us the other day. He said White's play in training camp only served to make him better. Spires had that big game against the Rams the other night on Monday Night Football. They call Spires the crane because he lifts things up, sets them down. Usually that is quarterbacks. Krenzel being chased. Oh, did he take a blow as he goes flying out of bounds, and that was White.
And again, the problem with that is they need 4 yards, Kevin, but their wide receivers are running 15-yard routes, which take a long time to develop, instead of running a slant or a stop or something where they can just get a quick throw, a first down, and keep the chains moving. Krenzel here is just running for his life. White pushes them out, and really they've got no chance to convert this play because nobody's open down the field.
They're lucky Krenzel didn't land on his shoulder. That White is fast, isn't he? He just covered some ground. It looked like Spires was going to get through first.
But again,
White outran him.
2 strange calls on 3rd and 4, and then 4th and 4. They've got receivers running way downfield.
As soon as our game concludes, and they're going to take a knee now in their victory formation, we'll be heading to that Philadelphia-Cleveland game. Philadelphia unbeaten going in. Cleveland giving them all they want. A 7-point game right now with the Eagles ahead. The Bucs moving to their 2nd win here, and another tough loss for the Bears. Today's game produced by Tom Yohe and directed by Mike Roy. Our associate director, Bob Grossman. Broadcast associate, Brian Biederman, and the technical producers, Michael Montavani and Jill Becco. The studio show produced by Scott Ackerson and directed by Bob Levy. The vice president of production, Jack Simmons. Our senior producer at Fox, Bill Brown. The executive producers of Fox Sports, Ed Gorin and David Hill. That'll do it, although a flag was thrown now with 24 seconds left. So that will kill the clock as both teams are ready to walk out and congratulate each other. There were more than congratulations being exchanged along the line of scrimmage. I want to thank our statistician today as well up here in the booth, Ed Svita, who's done a wonderful job for us.
Personal foul. Unnecessary roughness. Number 70. It's a 15-yard penalty.
Derek
3rd down.
Deese.
And that just makes no sense. You're kneeling the ball down to run the clock out. The game is over, and you're in there with the extracurricular stuff. You've won the ball game. Deese is an old veteran also. He knows better than that. And that's something I'm sure Gruden is going to address in the locker room. But you've got to be able to keep your poise in every situation. You can understand some young guys. We saw that happen with the Bears, but really no excuse for Derek Deese in this situation to get a penalty.
Well, we saw him get into it earlier with Tommy Harris, the rookie for the Bears. Lovie Smith, a frustrating return to Tampa for him. But there will be better days ahead. That'll do it. The Bears lose to the Bucs 19-7. That's the final score. Kevin Slayton for J.C. Pearson. So long from Tampa. 19-7, Bucs win. Now let's go to James Brown in the Fox Network Center. So long from Tampa, everyone.